Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Cloud9 podcast, season 3, episode 7. We had an amazing weekend for League of Legends. We had the LCK 2022 Spring Split finals between T1 and Gen G. We had the LEC 2022 Spring Split playoffs between, G2 versus Vitality, G2 versus Misfits, Fnatic versus Rogue. The LCS 2022 Spring Split playoffs kicked off with Cloud9 versus 100 Thieves, and then we had Team Liquid versus Evil Geniuses. So we had a insane level of League of Legends BO5s to watch. I know I haven't really had a chance to talk about the LCK, actually. As you guys already know, when the LCK moved their YouTube broadcast off of, YouTube, and they just went solely to Twitch, I don't really mind that, but it made things a little bit harder to watch because I had just the comfortability of just watching it on YouTube because it was super easy for me, and convenient whenever I could watch like the LPL and the LCK. I would literally just like on my second monitor have them both going, And one of the reasons why I really enjoyed that was because I didn't have to go to another platform to watch it. It was just convenient to have them simultaneously, in one area. But then when the LCK announced that they were actually going to just be solely on Twitch, that made things a little bit more harder to actually, navigate with because I'm just so used to just watching it on YouTube. So basically, long story short, with the LCK, I pretty much just have to watch the VODs and consume like the highlights for the LCK games, actually. Now, when I do happen to watch the LCK games, I really only watch the teams that I just personally know are going to try to compete for titles, like Gen G. As you guys know, I've always liked Gen G. Like I said before in past shows, I really like Ruler. I think Ruler is a great player. T1, obviously, and Damwon. Those are the only 3 teams I follow, which is Gen G, T1, and Damwon. And when I watched the LCK, this past split, I was thoroughly surprised at how T1 were doing. It was insanely crazy to look at them just like dominate most of the competition. Now, I know people have put like asterisks on their success because the LCK was having those issues with like the whole COVID thing where a lot of the players were getting it and T1's players were not. And then there was some players that the other teams to compete against T1, their players ended up getting COVID. And what ended up happening was that during certain best of threes, well, T1 had their roster at full strength, whereas the other team did not, and that was one of the biggest narratives going into the LCK 2022 Spring Split finals was that, now can T1 fight Gen G? Because before, when Gen G and Damwon would fight T1 at certain period points in time during the Spring Split, they didn't have their full roster. So a lot of people went like, okay, are they really that strong? But they were going to be that strong anyway. If you actually watch their gameplay, I did watch their gameplay. They play insanely good. Now, for the LPL, the last best of 5 I watched for the LPL was V5 versus no, not V5. It was the series where Doinby lost. It was LNG versus Weibo. That was the last series I watched, and that was
like, that was LNG looks bad.
Dude, what happened? They look pretty solid in the spring split, the regular season.
It's just one of those things where the LPL is a region where no team is just because a team's 10th. If they make some little moves here and there, they can become a middle of pack team. They become a top 4 team. Like look at FPX. Even though they lost all the people, they still made playoffs. Look at top esports. They made playoffs with changes. So the teams are still competing. I think the best thing I've seen so far in LPL is that the Shy separating from Rookie was the best decision for the both of them.
Actually, true. And the Shy came back to form, not like his peak, like 2018 peak Shy, but he came back to a good enough form to the point where, like, yeah, he's a scary top laner to face now for a lot of people again. And that's not a good thing if you're on the opposite end of that, because he's really insanely good. Like, if he comes back, we always said, if he comes back to form, he's going to start stomping people. He's not even at like his peak anymore, and he's still stomping people. That's crazy to think about.
And he's also decided, like, hey, you know what? The game's not played through me all the time. I'll play the tank. I'll play this role. He's playing a more supportive but aggressive Shy style, which works for that team. So I think Weibo can. I wish they had a better logo. It looks like something out of like
that Weibo that logo looks like shit.
I'm sorry, after school program. Like
that logo looks like shit. I'm not gonna lie, man. That shit looks
jerseys, like I would never want a Weibo jersey. I'm sorry. No, thank you. But chat, I just want to shout out the chat. Cloud9 will always be Cloud9 in my hearts. That's all I want to say.
Hey. We were winning in my heart. We won in my heart. That's all that matters. Lower bracket run is where it's happening, man. Lower bracket run, dude. Come on, man. Don't you believe? You gotta believe, man. Holy shit. I'll talk about Cloud9. I sure can. I'm gonna definitely rage into them because holy fucking shit. They play like animals up there. And so we had the LCK 2022 Spring Split Finals. LEC 2022 Spring Split Playoffs continue. They're going into the final week, actually. The top 3 remaining teams are going to be playing, and we will finally have a winner after this week. The LCS 2022 Spring Split Playoffs actually kicked off, and they're still going through a lot of matches. So we're going through the losers bracket this week for the LCS 2022 Spring Split Playoffs. So
one of the things... LEC too?
LEC? Yeah, because I'm going to cover the LCK first because they just had the one best of 5.
Right,
actually.
Okay. I didn't know. I'm sorry.
You're fine, man. Wait, did you get a chance to watch any of the LCK games at all this year?
No. I only watched LEC, and I actually watched LCS and LEC, and I didn't watch LCK. That's the only reason I didn't.
You didn't watch the finals?
I watched only one game, when the game that Gen G won.
Okay. You know how people always love Chovy? And I think Chovy's good. You can see he's insanely talented. He's a good player. He is 0-5 against Faker in best of 5s, not just finals. Remember last year when they fought each other to see placings for Worlds? He still lost.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a mental block he gets in front of Faker? Because it's so odd because he can stomp. He's like the Shy he stomps anyone not Faker. It's like when he faces Faker, his brain goes, I can't do it. I can't do it.
It's like PoE versus Bjergsen. For a time, PoE would always have. He was the Bjergsen killer. Remember, that's what he.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So I think it's one of those, and it's just their team is just. I just when T1 is off on all cylinders, it's reminding of 2016 with like Marin, Faker.
2015. 2016 too, because they were dominant. Well, they were half dominant that year.
So it's like it's reminding me of that, like how everybody's just playing their role, and like Faker's still there, but he's like he broke a record again, even at his age, because he's considered grandpa. I think he's 23 though, so that's not really grandpa, but
no.
But I think Chovy needs to. I don't know, man. I thought Gen G could have. Gen G just seems like they can never win a domestic title.
Dude, I've seen them in the finals, many spring splits, and they just can't win. Like even when I was watching the finals back to prep for the show, I was sitting there going like, these guys are playing really weird. Like even in, I think it was game 3 I watched, Peanut steals a Baron, then they can, you actually can see they kind of got their confidence back because they started making more proactive plays, right? Then they ended up actually just throwing the game because they started having like scrappy fights they literally couldn't even actually take, And some of their compositions I thought were like not really good. And Peanut is just, I've never really thought Peanut was that good. I don't really know how he performed during the entirety of the LCK 2022 spring split regular season, but what I saw out of the best of 5 between Owner and Peanut, Owner just had his number. It was just outperforming him on like everything, not even just the game they won. And Faker seem to have come back to form. Like, they just have a really solid team, and T1 have the best bot lane. Kyria and Gumayushi are like the best bot lane in the world. Gumayushi's just insane. This guy is just out of this world. So if T1 go to MSI, are they not they have to be the favorite? Favorite, unless V5 goes to fucking.
I think V5 could give them, and maybe this is gonna sound. I'm not trying to hop on LSC's band. I think Fnatic could give them a run for their money.
That's if Fnatic make it, and they won't be making it this week.
If Rogue, I don't know, the top 3 teams are actually pretty good after, but we'll talk about that later. I mean, I hate when T1 is number 1 in a sense that, it's like all the analysts, like Monte Cristo, I'm sure has the Vaseline, and he's like, "Oh, T1, oh, T1, you're back." Oh, his right hand's probably, dealing with carpal tunnel right now. And Thorin, he's like, "Oh yeah, too. Let me help you, Monty." Oh, so like that's why I don't like when T1's back on the map. And the thing is that once T1's back on the map, it's like every other region is garbage. And I don't like that. That's why I like when T1 was not on the map. Not to say I'm not acknowledging them. That's not what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. I'm saying when T1's top, it's like
everyone else is just shit.
Yeah, everyone's shit, and it's but then when they lose, it's like, oh, what? T1 lost. Yeah, they are players. They can lose. It happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's what used to happen. Like, back in the day too, even when a team would win against them, it was like, no. It's not T1's fault that they lost. It's because those other guys are just not, they're the ones messing up. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, what the fuck? No, just if they win, they win. That's fine. But if they lose, don't try to make every excuse in the book. I mean, there's going to be like some nuance to that. Like, if they play extremely horrible, like, or if they play like down to the other players' levels, then sure. Yeah, there's always going to be something. But at the end of the day, it's like they still lost, But this T1 right now, they went, undefeated in the LCK? 20-0? That's insane. That's ridiculous. Like, when they go to MSI, I don't envy any team facing them, especially facing Gumayushi and Kyria. They're just an insane bot lane. And that's the thing with me, Chovy versus Faker is, Faker just has his number, Yeah. Also, Fujin, there's been times where, Chovy solo killed him, but the thing here is that's not really gonna. He is a great mechanically skilled player, but he doesn't have that extra layer that Faker has, being a team player. Yeah, that's the thing. He doesn't have that team player aspect, because you see it in all the finals. Chovy will literally dominate a bunch of people, but then whenever he faces Faker, the reason why Faker has the edge over him is because Faker has that extra edge on him, being the team player. He'll sacrifice and let the other guys do it, and he'll be able to hold his own against him. I don't know if it's a mental block. I don't know if maybe Chovy is just... what's the best player I can compare him to? Like, someone said Alfari, but I wouldn't really compare him to Alfari because he's had somewhat moderate success, in his, because he's made finals.
Well, Reckless had that issue with Uzi. With Uzi, like, every time RNG would fight Fnatic, it would be like he could never beat him until he finally beat him for the qualifying match for was it 2019? Worlds, where he won the tiebreaker and he finally beat Uzi. So it's one of those things where he just has to overcome it. He has to go the extra mile in a game or something to like you said, to bring out the clutch factor. There's no VOD review or nothing he could do. And
that's the thing with Gen G rosters, dude, every single time I look at Gen G rosters, they build super teams, quote unquote super teams, but then you have a player like Doran on your roster who can barely handle his own. Most of the time when I watch Doran, he can like barely handle his own. In that best of 5 series I watched between T1 and Gen G, he was not playing good and consistently losing or overextending in fights. Then they usually try to lean on having like a really good jungler, a really good mid laner, and a really good ADC. Their really good ADC's always been Ruler. The mid laner they had before was BDD. Obviously, BDD went to another team, and he's not been performing very well on that team from the games that I did watch to catch up. Honestly, I preferred if they had I don't know, like looking back now, because some people have said they should have just kept Clid. Like, I don't know about, maybe Clid only looked the way he did because him and BDD synergy was like really bad. But I don't know if Peanut was the right answer, though. They failed with Peanut before. Peanut was on their roster before, and he failed with them. I don't know why they opted into getting him again. There's probably plenty of better players you could have got over Peanut. It's ridiculous.
But their record, I don't think Peanut's the issue, man. Like, sometimes it comes down, the drafts weren't that good either, too.
Yeah, we're gonna go over them right now because them drafts blow my brains. Them drafts only made me out to have a heart attack. I was like, holy shit, these guys are playing ass.
But while you look for that, can we appreciate that these old players like Peanut and Otawamne, who are still around, and like Bjergsen, they're still performing at a high level?
So we know it's not age. We know it's not age that does it.
Because that's what everybody says, like, oh, you're too old. Otawamne ended first with
Core JJ just got first again.
Bjergsen and Core JJ just got first with Team Liquid. Gen G got second place with Peanut. Like, it's not old age. It's sometimes it's the organization and the players that you surround yourself with.
T1 versus Gen G. Give me a second right here. Let me see where they are at. Right here. Okay. Let me bring it up right now. Because this is the thing. Like, when I'm watching some of these games, like, even from the Damwon series that I watched with Gen G, like, Damwon could have also won that series. Gen G ended up reverse sweeping them to get to the finals, obviously. And how much is it like the other rosters are weaker, so that's the reason why T1 are performing as well as they are, you know? Because this is the thing, is like,
Khan was still here.
Yeah, like those thoughts are always going to be in my head regardless. But like Damwon, from the Damwon games that I saw, their bot lane and their top laner, I don't know what. It's got, because most people are going to be like, oh my goodness, you're just mad that Damwon's losing. No, it's not that. It's like, if you watch Damwon play, the games that I did see from them, it just seems like they don't really know how to utilize their bot lane. Like, they don't know if they want to play through their bot lane. They don't know if they want to use their bot lane like their previous bot lane, because, you know, their previous bot lane hit a ceiling at a certain point where, like, you know, they tunneled so hard on just being a weak side bot lane that they just didn't even really help them at a certain point, you know? And then Damwon's top laner, I'm pretty sure, I mean, make sure I get the guy's name right, because I sometimes forget the names. Give me a second. Damwon, yeah, Birdall. You know, like, Birdall's not going to be, like, from what I saw out of him, and even last year at Worlds, that's not a player you're going to be winning any titles with anytime soon. You know, it seems like Damwon, relatively for the time period, downgraded in players, and then whereas T1 had a roster that they were developing synergy with, then we also heard the news that Faker is pretty much the head coach of the team, and he's pretty much running the team. So yeah, congrats, Faker. You're pretty much running the team, man. So they've been doing pretty good so far. But yeah, Gen G, once again, don't get their domestic title. They've really have been trying to get the domestic title, and it just has not been working out. Like, I don't know. If they literally got Chovy, and you're thinking like, okay, Chovy is even better than BDD, and BDD was pretty solid for Gen G for the many years he was with Gen G. Now you get Chovy, you're thinking like, damn, yeah, we finally got him. No, because no. God, dude. Like, I hope next time Chovy faces Faker, he can, like, understand he can definitely beat Faker. It's all in his head, you know? If if Chovy could just be a team player, as if like, he could like move around the map more effectively, sacrifice certain matchups to make sure his team gets certain resources, then I think that might be the edge he needs. Because that's always when it boils down to. Or maybe Chovy's just a choker. Maybe he's just a choker. But he beats Faker sometime in the regular season.
I mean, like Vitality choking too? Yeah.
That's not even choking. That's right there. That's mega choking. That's like Vitality. I'm gonna blow my brains out when we gotta talk about those pieces of shit.
I don't know, man. I don't. Is it? I don't know, like, because we can say that Rule is a world champion, right? So it's not like he's not a world class ADC. Carrier is what is it? I'm sorry, is it Life down there?
I'm pretty sure they have Life. Yeah,
right. Life is a great support, so it's not their bot lane. Their bot lane's good. Chovy's good. So
sorry, my bad. Lehens used to play with Chovy.
Yeah, so
Griffin.
It's like, well, what's the issue? Like, what's like holding it?
It could be a myriad of things. Maybe they have different ideas on how they want to play the game, but all of these Gen G rosters have that. Every Gen G roster I've seen at a certain period point in time, multiple different roster iterations, they all want to play the game so differently. So even if you have superstar players, it doesn't matter because each player wants to do their own thing and they want to succeed at playing the game their own way. Whereas you don't have a player that wants to sacrifice for the team. And that's always been one of Gen G's biggest issues with many of their rosters. Like, their coaches, as you look up, they have Score and Mata. Like, then what is going on with them? And just to, they did have a reverse sweep to come back against Damwon because they were actually 2-0 down in that series as well. They get to the finals and you're thinking like, okay, there's maybe a way they can win against T1. Nope. Doesn't happen that way. Faker still got it, man. And the longevity of Faker, 10 domestic titles. He's the winningest domestic player of all time. 10 fucking LCK titles. That is ridiculous. 10 LCK titles, 3 world championships, 2 MSIs, I'm pretty sure, an IEM championship, if you guys want to count that. I guess someone might count that, but in terms of titles that matter to people, 2 MSI championships, 3 world championships. You also have, the 10 domestic titles. Faker's longevity, it speaks for itself, and he's still winning. We know that T1 had a lot of those roster issues last year with players just constantly swapping in and out and in and out and in and out. Now when you have a consistent roster, that a lot of people said, when you get that consistent roster, you will do a whole lot better. And that's what ended up happening. All right. Now we can go over at least some of the games from the LCK 2022 Spring Split playoffs, because some of these drafts were yikes. Oh, Lord. After I see a TurboTax ad. You want your taxes done, Warren, by this white guy?
Why don't you? Doesn't ad block work?
I support my content creators. Oh shit! All right, wait. I'm pretty sure this is not the game. Give me a second. Sorry, guys. Got the wrong game. I'm a moron. Sorry. Technical difficulties. Holy shit. My bad. Sorry about that. Give me a sec. Let me just bring it up right now. Here we go. Got it. So, yeah, let's talk about these games, because people are going to want a visual representation of what we obviously are talking about. Sure. Let's see Gen G just get obliterated. And to be fair, they kind of stood their own against T1, so I can't really say they got, mercifully
and you're right. It has to be a mental block, because Showmaker has beaten Faker plenty of times.
Yeah, and Showmaker's also just as good as Chovy. They're, about the same level. Showmaker's beat him in finals consistently, and he's won a world championship as well. I think Chovy has that potential. He's just never actually did it when it matters. He has to do it when it matters, and that's the only thing holding him back. That's it. That's all it is, essentially. So you have game 1 of the finals between T1 versus Gen G. T1 drafting Orin, Volibear, Victor, Ezreal, Karma. T1 drafting Camille, Nocturne, Rise, Caitlyn, Lux. This is the game where Gumayushi gets so far ahead. I'm pretty sure he ends this game with like 10 kills. You know, Peanut tries early on to gank Faker, and then that definitely works out for them. Peanut throwing that swagger emote up there, honestly. This composition I do like from Gen.G. Poke with Ezreal, speed ups from Karma, Victor, Poke. They have a nice Poke engage composition with 2 tanks to back them up. That's fine, you know? But T1 have more damage on their side, and Gumayushi was literally kiting, and it's an absolute beast this game. He was absolutely carrying this game, and you have the side laning with Rise. You also have the Poke coming into him from Keria.
And the side laning with Camille too.
They honestly, both compositions are fine for this game. T1 just played theirs out better. That was it. And Faker and Zeus and Owner just kept diving Orin. Peanut not really having the best lane assignments. Like, I don't know why he's right here when they clearly see none of them on the map. He's not even positioning towards there. They can all go like, wait a minute. In a game, there's no way I believe you understand where these people are. No way. You all see them off the map. Your top laner's alone. You know where the bot lane is. He's obviously top lane because Chovy recalled. So that's where you have it. Doran gets dove. Then you have Peanut. Peanut's like, you know what? I can take a whole turret by myself. No fear. Hell yeah, man. And here comes getting killed. Zeus sees him and he's like, okay, I'm just going to just kill this guy. Because he has no mana, no ult, nothing. And they just kill him. Good job, Peanut. Good job just throwing over a free advantage. There you go, man. Warren, if you saw that out of your jungler, what are you thinking?
FF15?
Oh, shit. Then they actually try to get another kill onto Zeus. Chovy flashes in, Chaos Storm, laser, killing him. But as you guys know, the game plays out as T1 wins it. Gumayushi ends up with a fucking 10-0 Caitlyn score. Absolutely just dominating fucking Gen.G. Holy shit, this guy is insane. Then there was this next game with okay, let me bring it up right now. There was this next game that was with T1 versus Gen.G for their finals. Let me just bring it up right now because I had it all in sync, but you know, the fucking YouTube history button just switches it all up or some shit. So let me just make sure I get both games right now. Let me just make sure I have them up for you guys. Let me hit pause. Let me just hit game 4. Let me hit pause right here. Okay. Let me go back here and let me show you guys. Because Gen.G did at least win one game. I mean, most people say it was going to be a quick 3-0 stomp. But you would probably think, like, you know, with their full roster, it'd be a whole lot more different, obviously, because they have Chovy now. But it made a slight difference, honestly, you know? All right, next game, you had Gen.G drafting Akali, Lee Sin, Ahri, Xayah, and Alistar. T1 drafting Lucian, Diana, Ryze, Jinx, and Nautilus. And one of the big issues this game was Doran was overextending. He got solo killed by the Lucian, I think once or twice, actually. You know, Peanut getting the first early kill onto him, which was good. You would think after that, the Akali just has the lane advantage over him. Remember, Zeus is still out farming Doran in this matchup, which is Akali a favored once you hit level 6. Then you have Chovy on Ahri, which you think is like his pixel perfect champion. He can roam around the map and have an actual early game impact. Lane's getting a little bit more caught out right here, giving the lane advantage back over to Zeus. They kept having these back and forth team fights this game, and Gumayushi was able to free fire into the back line, actually getting off those resets. And when it came to a Baron play they had later in the game, Gen.G was starting Baron, and then they turn to go on to Keria. So you're thinking like, okay, they can take the game back now. They forced them to go to them at Baron. They ended up picking off literally 3 people, which is good. Like, this is stuff you want to see out of this roster. They can't do anything, obviously. And then I'm pretty sure this is, they get Baron at this point. Lehens does his the Hextech flash right there to obviously stop them from, you know, getting it. They get the Baron, obviously, from Gen.G. Then after that, you have a team fight breaking out and then all of T1 die. Genji get the ace, and yeah, they actually played the team fight out very well. Let me just replay this right here. So Ruler gets a kill onto Zeus. Then you have him just obviously pulling his feathers back, and then Faker just can't do anything against him, killing Faker, then killing off Owner. Good job, Genji. Actually performing at least one team fight very well. Good job, Genji. And then they ended up getting the victory right there. They got the Baron, then they got the team fight, then you get the win. But then T1 go, okay, I think I know what they're doing, because this is what Genji were doing. Genji were drafting pretty easy compositions to execute. So T1 are thinking, okay, you're drafting an easy composition to execute. How about we just do one of our own? That's when you see them getting the poke compositions down, along with the early game advantage of having a champion that can inherently go further more in the early game, while you have your safe assurance policy in Gumayushi, also a guy who's been dominating laning phase anyway. So in this game, Chovy's on LeBlanc against Faker's Ahri. So you're thinking like, okay, Chovy can definitely have an impact on LeBlanc. But the problem with LeBlanc is if you're not getting roams off with LeBlanc, you're not going to really be that effective. LeBlanc's not a good team fighter. Like side lanes is fine. Side laning for, LeBlanc is okay. It's not the best, obviously. Owner on Viego was just insane to look at. This guy was disgusting. And then you had Zeus coming up there to get the whole trade back. Sorry, my bad. Viego got the kill. Sorry, I was thinking I watched this game. I was like, okay, I thought that Zeus got the kill. Nevertheless, T1 just aggress all into them, because the problem with picking LeBlanc is you're thinking like, okay, I'll just shove this guy back in. He'll recall with the LeBlanc chains, and I just burst him out. That's not going to happen against Faker. So picking LeBlanc is good for Chovy, but in reality, if you're realizing who you're facing, it's not going to work against him. So you also factor in Doran was losing the matchup against Jace. The Korean Jace is much better than the other regions Jace is. I'll tell you that right now. Keria coming up there and easily killing off Doran. Dude, LCS fucking Jace is good, man. Right?
Ottawamne had the best Jace last year.
Oh, shit, Lord, I'm on a biscuit. And then we have the final game of the LCK 2022 Spring Split Playoffs. T1 versus Genji. Genji, they just can't pull it out. Their composition this time around was... I forget that guy's name. Was it Akansha? Akshan, Lee Sin, Ryze, Xayah, Yumi. Then you have T1 drafting Kennen, Viego, Ahri, Jinx, and Thresh. Now, I'm thinking to myself, why did they have these... Genji kept having these skirmishes where they literally were just fighting at different times. Throughout the whole series, they were fighting at different times where they couldn't really focus on a target. Peanut getting caught out. He was like, okay, I think the series is over. Let me just throw it. Let me just throw my whole body in the line of fire. Good job, Peanut. Good job, man. You're doing the best. I don't mind when people pick Ahri, but it just didn't feel like Ahri really got Genji anything when they were picking it. So they're like, okay, Chovy, you got to be on Ryze then. Your best player is just not really underperforming. He's just not performing to the standard that he should be performing at. Then, so I'll ask you, Warren, what did you think about T1's composition here? Do you think this one's better than Genji's? Or they're fine.
You have to get ahead with Akshan, and Akshan is like the ranged Camille. He can roam, and in team fights, you have to really execute him well, because the revive is really, really strong. Because people can just come back like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think what they should have probably done is draft like maybe something like trying to think of the task, like maybe Gragas or like a Scion or like put him on another tank, because or like even Malphite would have been fine too. Like
Malphite against Kennen would be pretty fine.
I just think that we've seen that Doran can't really match the Zeus, so why would you put him in the carry role?
Yeah, like he's not a player that can carry. Even when he played Akali in the other game that they did win, he didn't really perform that well anyway. And that's the thing is, in a game where they have to win, you got to just put him on something that is just going to scale throughout the game.
Or
like Orin came back this week for a lot of teams to play.
even Graves and
Oh, that's disgusting. At that point, you gotta just FF at 15. Just at that point, you just FF. Oh shit! I remember that. I was like, okay, just FF, guys. It's over. It's okay. GG. Go next split. It's fine. It's all good, man.
Right. So it's like I think they could have used Graves. They could have used. I think there's other picks right now that are actually good. If they wanted an AD pick, Wukong would have been fine here because Wukong.
Or they would have picked Jax, like Warren always likes.
No, Jax is not. Jax is for. Okay, the thing about the Jax thing, right, is the fact that teams can get away with blinding Camille and nobody plays Jax says a lot about how players can't play Jax.
Yeah.
Because when we talk about when we go to LEC, I'll be like, oh, see, I was right. But we'll talk about that later. I just think the Akshan pick, everything else seems fine. They have scaling. They have Yumi is gonna Giga scale. Zaya's gonna scale. Lee Sin gets the early game. I just don't like the Akshan pick. You're relying too much on and Doran has shown in this series that he can't really carry. So why? So basically,
and then Peanut also didn't invest resources to top lane anyway. So they know Peanut's not going to go top lane, but they give Doran a top lane carry champion that has to get ahead, or he's just useless. Like if Akshan doesn't get ahead, he's almost like he's just useless. Like what does he do? Nothing. He can't. He scales like shit.
I think.
Whereas you have Kennen slicing Maelstrom, side laning, team fighting. All of those boxes are checked.
Personally, too, I think people are getting baited by the Rise pick. I would have liked Corki here because Package would have like done a lot of damage, and Corki Giga scales really hard. That's why. Again, I'm not a pro. I'm only a bronze pleb. So what do I know?
What do you know, Warren?
but this is. I don't know. Gen G will always remain second place. I guess that's just their.
They're like what Cloud9 was for a while, where they just like always the bridesmaid and never the bride. Is that the best thing you can?
Like this week? Like
whoa! That was luck. That doesn't count.
Oh yeah. A 3 and a dash and a 0 is luck. Yeah.
Hey, some 3-0s were closer than other 3-0s, but they're still 3-0s. But after this, yeah, because you could tell Gen G's mental was fried. They just couldn't do it. Like T1 were just the better team on the day. Maybe next split Gen G can actually win a domestic title because they're always at the top of the standings. They just can't get it done. At this point, I don't know what can really do it for them. They had their super team, that they built last year, the year before that, like what's going on with their roster? Even at Worlds, they lost to EDG. EDG were also a pretty solid team overall. That's not really their fault, but that roster was built to obviously win Worlds or make finals. And then they still don't do it. So it's not like they're not getting good players or they can't invest into good players. It's just something that they obviously have to deal with. It's not even mental state. Maybe this group of players aren't as good as maybe they're thinking, Maybe that's what it is potentially. But then again, none of that really matters right now because T1 are your 2022 LCK Spring Split champions. So congrats to T1. They went undefeated in the regular season. They played pretty well, given all circumstances. And yes, Fujin was also right. Hyun Lu was also right. It's even more crazy when it was revealed that 4 to 5 T1 members were suffering from COVID in that finals. Good God. Lord. So Gen G, come back and figure out how you want to utilize some of your players because that is what you should be doing when you're in a finals. It's not about the drafting at that point. It's just more or less so you're having Chovy on champions that aren't necessarily bad, but against the player you're using them for and against, it's where it actually becomes problem with how you're functioning as a team. Team fighting was a little all over the place. Putting Doran on carry champions just didn't really make any sense to me, actually. And then you also had Chovy having this mental block against Faker, like he's had for the last 5 best of 5s. When these best of 5s matter, he just can't get it done. So hopefully Chovy can get it done against Faker in another scenario when it happens in playoffs.
Oh, when Faker retires?
When Faker retires. Okay, if Faker retires, then Genji can definitely win. If Faker retires, then Chovy can beat him. Because that means Chovy would have outlasted Faker when he's already like 30 years old. Oh, shit. All right. On to the LEC. The LEC 2022 Spring Split playoffs continue. So we had more results. We are now moving into finals weekend right here. You have the last remaining matches, which are going to be G2 versus Fnatic, going to be on Saturday. And then you're going to have whoever wins out of G2 and Rogue are going to be the LEC 2022 Spring Split champions. A lot of people are saying Rogue are going to win at this point now because they just took down Fnatic. They reverse swept them, actually. Humanoid. Woo, Humanoid. Not looking too good this past week. I even said Larson has been playing well this past split. He's been playing good. And a lot of people just kept going like, yeah, Humanoid played better. I'm like, no, he didn't. Humanoid was fine. He was like the 4th best mid laner.
But Larson has Malrong and Humanoid has Razork.
Razork was the best jungler in the league. What are you talking about?
Stop it. Even you, take off the sweater, dude. Take it off because that's a lot of cap you got on right now.
I just thought a lot of people were just severely underrating Larson because he played well throughout the entirety of the regular season, and he transferred it in the first playoff series as well when they face off against Misfits.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I thought this was like a scrim game because, like, this is what I mean. Hear me out. Whoever loses, right, they're just gonna drop to the loser bracket, so they still get another chance. So I think Fnatic might have benefited from this because, like, okay, this is what they're gonna do. Now, if they beat G2, which I feel like they should beat G2, but these teams were expected. Personally, so
to be fair, yeah, like most of these guys were kind of predicted to get to the finals anyway, and now it's guaranteed. Now they finish top 3. That is an absolute guaranteed thing. When I was watching the Rogue versus Fnatic series, even in the games that Rogue lost, they still looked very competitive. You know, because last year, if that was Rogue, their roster would have just like mentally fell apart. And then now they know how it feels to reverse sweep someone. So now, this, like I told people before, this is not the same Rogue roster. Yes, Rogue chokes in playoffs, but this is not the same roster that did that. This roster is getting blamed for something that they never even really essentially did. Like, you know, it's essentially a different roster with like similar players. You know, the only different players are obviously Comp and Malrong, but these guys, this is their first time competing at the highest level that they've ever competed at, because Malrong in LCK was fucking terrible. That guy was awful in the LCK.
He was not awful. He was just on bad team. He was on bad. Come on, Generic Green Wings,
KT Rolster,
Kongdu Monster.
Those are great teams. What are you talking about? Those are fire teams. No, Warren's just like, I'm done. he just left. So that was my thing. The weird salty runbacks during this week of games as well. I was thinking to myself, what are all these weird salty runbacks that I have to deal with? Like, you know, if it doesn't work out the first time around, you go like, okay, let's try it again. But the reason why you don't want to do that is because if you do that, you're essentially 2-0 down. You're about to get swept. That's why I don't really advocate if teams do like salty runback drafts. Yeah, Lou also said, yeah, they would pick like TF, and then they would go like, damn, this is not working out. Yeah, pick it again. It's like, what the fuck? Like, you see, that's just shit that I don't fucking go like, well, how do these teams do that? Like, when you're talking to your players and you're drafting, what makes someone go, man, what we just did didn't work? how about I literally just do it again? Not my thing, you know? But I want to go over Team
Must be
Vitality.
scrims. Oh,
And must...
I'll be right back.
Oh, you're fine, dude. You're fine. So we had the first best of 5, which was between G2 versus Team Vitality. And yeah, Team Vitality are out. They are done. We will see them when the LEC 2022 summer split starts, actually. So what's really crazy about Team Vitality is this roster definitely needs changes. If they don't make changes going into summer for the LEC 2022 summer split, I would be thoroughly surprised. There were games where Vitality were ahead of G2 through them, and then they made all of these egregious mistakes when they were ahead. It's almost as if, like I've told you guys before, if there's a team who doesn't normally get ahead, some of the times where you see them throw, they'll get ahead and you'll see them not knowing what to do because they don't really get in advantageous positions to get ahead to play out those scenarios. So that's like, oh, you're fine, dude. So that's why you see a lot of the reasons why, like a team like Team Vitality, who's played bad throughout a majority of the regular season, if they get ahead, it doesn't look as clean because they normally don't get ahead to play out a ahead scenario, actually clean. So that was one of the biggest things I saw in the Team Vitality series against G2. There was game 3, they were massively far ahead, and they just threw it. Game 1, they were ahead. You could definitely win this game if you're ahead with at least this composition. Carzzy and Labrov performed decently well in this best of 5. I mean, Labrov and Carzzy have been pretty much dog shit throughout the entirety of the regular season, and they performed well in this series, and that's the edge you needed for Vitality. Going into the series, you needed your bot lane to step up. They stepped up a little bit. It wasn't like they were complete trash. Alphari got destroyed by Broken Blade. It wasn't even fair. Like, I honestly don't know what they could do because Alphari wanted to play with Perks, because of the success that Perks brings with the other teams that Alphari had faced, right? Then you look at this series, Alphari was the issue for them. And even Selfmade was an issue, but Selfmade wasn't an issue in terms of, of how you want to play the game, right? Because
I think
player-wise, he's
overrated
fine.
At this point. He's a choker. He's overrated at this point.
You're saying he's Chovy for top laners?
Yeah, he gets this praise, but he hasn't done, at least Chovy's been... Chovy took a shit team to Worlds. Think about that.
And he made top 8 of Worlds, too.
Look, if Alphari was really good, he should have still got to Worlds with Origin that year, because that wasn't a bad team. So, I think at this point, he's a choker.
My thing here is everyone always praises Alphari's laning phase, but then he doesn't do anything with it afterwards. He does nothing with it. And there's been games where if he goes even against another player, he just looks average, essentially. The same thing happened with Finn when Vitality faced off against XL last week. He looked pretty average against Finn, and a lot of his issues were getting exposed. Now, I don't know if it's a slump that Alphari is going through, or I don't know if it's a issue he's having with maybe he feels like he should be getting more resources on the map. I don't really know, honestly. But when I watched this best of 5 between G2 and Vitality, when I was watching this best of 5 between G2 and Vitality, I was thinking to myself, Broken Blade is doing very well. Jankos is putting a lot of resources, obviously, into Broken Blade. The next day, you actually see Caps having the best series he's had, in a while, and the best games he's had in a while as well. Then you have Flakkid and Targamas performing solid. G2, they also made mistakes as well, throughout this best of 3. I think G2 needed this best of 3 in order to bounce back, because that's how you saw them performing against Misfits. Because there's always going to be like these teams who perform pretty bad when there's a lot of expectations onto them. But when they face a team like this and they win, they kind of get their confidence back. Even though you'll see like Vitality also looked pretty good in this series as well. I still stand by that Perks played well for the regular season, but there's not really much he can do because it seems like they're just going through a massive team identity They don't know how they want to play the game. They don't know what they want to do in the early game. They don't know how they want to skirmish.
Vitality hired me as a coach. You want to know why? Put Alfari on the weak side because that's where he got a lot of his success when he was on Misfits. He was a weak side king, and he didn't needed any resources. But ever since teams started putting resources in him, he hasn't been the same. Like that's what I've noticed. If I compare his career now from back then to now,
because they gave him carry top laners consistently, it just wasn't really doing anything, honestly. And it wasn't even the champion. He was just playing bad. Like, because I know a lot of people are gonna go, well, the champions they were putting him on weren't good. Like when people try to play their little revisionist history as these series get more thought about as years to come. It's not the champions he's on. It's just he's playing like shit. He got outlaned, solo killed, and just destroyed. Dives aren't something you can really like look at and go, okay, that's his fault. But in just laning and just how he's interacting with his team, it's just not good. And for Vitality going in, people said, well, if their bot lane could somewhat come back to form, like somewhat have a form, they could probably end up winning. But G2 ended up pulling it out for this first game. You know, Perkz, I don't really know. Like, I think Perkz played well in the regular season.
I think he's bald. I think his gameplay is so bad that's why he's balding faster.
Oh, Lord. Okay, Warren. What do you really... Tell me how you really feel, honestly.
I think... that's actually... I'm sorry. If they put the camera on Perkz, bro, he's sitting really bad, bro. His hair's going really bad. But, all right. So here's my thing.
So you're saying Perkz was losing his hair by seeing how bad Alfari was playing?
He was losing his hair the moment he went to NA.
Good job, okay. Alfari. Good job, man. On the Jacks.
So here's the matchup. This is why I say it's illegal to pick Camille, because if you have a good Jax player, Jax is gonna win in the side lane. He's just gonna be a monster. Like how are you gonna stop that champion? Like with his
Jax is actually a monster if you don't actually shut him down, and it's even worse if he solo kills you, because that means he gets his item.
Look at this. Look how much they need to kill.
That's illegal. That's literally borderline illegal.
like they literally sent 3 people up there and it wasn't good enough. And Alfari's trying to get a return kill, and that's unsuccessful.
Good job, Alfari. Good job, dude. Oh my god.
I think the problem is that they should not. I blame the LEC broadcast too, because they labeled them as some super team.
Mm-hmm. I mean, fans did too.
I didn't think they were a super team. Like Lebrov didn't. Lebrov hasn't proved anything to me. So how can he?
Yeah, like one of my things with Vitality was that people were calling them a super team off past precedents, not like present day players these guys are. Like, even when you look at Carzzy had Kaiser and Humanoid on Mad Lions, you know? Perkz was on Cloud9 last year, didn't look that good outside of, like, just the spring split where he won. Like, he looked good in that spring split, but outside of that, he looked like shit, you know? Selfmade looked all right with Vitality last year with Leader. He looked all right. Alfari got looked at like some superstar top laner when he looked like he got beaten pretty hard at Worlds by those world-class top laners. He got just his ass handed to him. So if you're looking just based off the present players that Team Vitality picked up, yeah, on paper, it's going to look like upgrades to what they had, but it wasn't like this super team a lot of people had. I thought initially going in, okay, they're not a super team, but I think throughout the regular season, I thought they were actually going to scale. They're going to just get better with time. Nope, they actually kind of regress and look even more like shit now.
They were just like a better 2018 Misfits. Remember when they had Soaz, Gorilla. That was supposed to be like a really good super team, and it just didn't work out. Mm-hmm. It's like that's what I'm saying. Like, look at G2. Tarkimus and Flacket aren't superstar players, but they fulfill the team's roles, right? Mm-hmm. Like, let's be honest, the real superstars, even though Jankos is good, the real superstars on G2 is Caps and Broken Blade at the end of the day, right? Like,
right.
So, like, teams just need to stop this super team nonsense. Just make a team where like it's all working together. Like look at Guma Yusi and
Kyria.
And Carrier worked his way up.
Mm-hmm.
Like they need players want these instant.
That is illegal. Oh Lord, that is disgusting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You keep making fun of my Jack. Oh, why don't they pick Jax? Oh, you keep mentioning Jax at Worlds, Warren.
Oh shit! Warren sees a Jax game work. Oh, Warren sees a Jax game work. He just gets hard as fuck. Oh yes, Jax.
I mean, he clearly he had a hard stick with that hockey.
Oh my god! So one of the things I liked about G2 in this best of 5 was that their bot lane had a really bad laning phase against Fnatic, and they somewhat decently fixed it. Like, because they're gonna realize this: their bot lane can carry, but you have to put resources into them. And you saw Yankos actually ganking for their lane, which was good to see. There were some moments where Vitality got the upper hand with like picking off someone, kind of like right here where you're looking at Selfmade go in. He's like, okay, I think I got someone. No, you don't. You don't at all. You actually don't. And it's just horrible. Now, looking at it right here, Perks gets a charm onto Broken Blade, Hextech ultimatum, but then, Flacket is just literally just free firing right there. And then, I'm pretty sure they run down Perks right here. Yeah, they run down Perks, because that's the thing. They were just too far behind. And then, time to actually talk about Game 3. So, Vitality were actually ahead in Game 3. They were ahead. And at some point, they were ahead, and G2 ended up getting a Baron. So, I'm thinking to myself, okay, Vitality are literally just throwing the game. So, at this point, if you're Vitality and you get a lead like this, you just have to play it slow. You have the Jace, you have the Akali for side lanings, you have the Volibear, you have a Philios, I'm pretty sure they had Lulu in this game, right? Because a lot of teams were opting into drafting Lulu. No, my bad. G2 has Lulu. I don't know where teams got this idea to basically draft Lulu consistently. I get why you would do it. Lulu's not a bad pick inherently. Depends on the composition you actually have. But I don't really understand why would you pick Lulu. But I get the mindset behind it. So right here, you have G2 going aggressive onto Vitality right there. Cap's trying to throw out a charm. Doesn't really work. They actually put up the Baron push onto the tower. Team Vitality knows at this point they have to do something. They got to do anything. And they actually, still with getting the Baron, get these objectives on the map. Later on, Vitality tried to actually, okay, let me see. Give me a second. Okay, so right here, the game is at an even state, even though G2 aren't exactly ahead. The point of this game just goes to show you, even from ahead, Vitality still don't really know how to really play the game from ahead. And they're the ones winning. Perks, there was a part in this game where I think Perks wanted to do something, but then you also had the team wanted to do another thing, because this is the part of the game I'm pretty sure they lose, because Perks was off in a side lane pushing like he should. Selfmade kind of getting caught out, forcing his ult out. Perks is going mid when his team needs him, but Selfmade already went in and got chunked out. So that's what I was super confused about. Lebrov just sits there and loses his brain like usual. And then if you lose your support, and then if Selfmade is already getting chunked out and you're already losing Lebrov because his brain is fried, there's nothing you can do. It's over. This sequence of events absolutely blew my mind. I was going, what the fuck? Because this was a winnable game for Vitality, even in the deficit that G2 was clawing back from. So right here, Broken Blade TPs, Selfmade, there's no reason to go here. They can't capitalize on this. There's nothing he can do here. Why are you doing that? There's no reason. Then he blows his ult. They don't even have Volibear ult when the team fight is starting. Okay. Then, right after that, Lebrov steps up way too close, gets immediately bursted down. Flackid, not even using his ult to kill him. 3 autos killed him. Cap's charming Selfmade. And then after that, no one's going to defend Carzzy. Perks is off, Soul getting an inhibitor, then you have Alfari who's like, okay, I don't know what the fuck my team just did. My team just griefed me. So, yeah, I think Vitality are just shit. They're just bad, essentially. If you can't win a game being this far ahead, there's nothing you can do.
I don't think they're bad. I think they're just. It's what I talked about when in the preseason with you and
Sean,
that you can't have two. You can't. This is the old saying. All these Indians, like so many chiefs and all these Indians or whatever that's saying. Like you have Alfari, Selfmade, Perks, Carsey, all those egos in one room. All these people with the only person that's probably submissive and passive is LeBron. Probably.
Yeah, because what did we talk about last week when we were talking about Team Vitality, and even the week before when we were doing our wrap up for the regular season and shit? They don't have a good anything. They don't have a good mid jungle duo. They don't have a good support jungle duo. They don't have a good top side duo. They don't have a good idea how to play the game. They can barely lane. Their bot lane can't play any matchups at all. And even when their bot lane had matchups that they won, they still threw them.
Maybe they need to go to Korea.
Okay. Oh shit. Holy shit. Oh fuck. And Perks, like, it's so like, I'm not saying Perks played bad the entire of the regular. Sorry, I'm not saying Perks played bad the entirety of the regular season, but there's nothing he can do. Perks hasn't been that kind of player in a while.
Also, let's be fair, right?
Yeah.
Maybe too. Also, it's just the region just leveled up. It's like,
yes.
look at XL. They made playoffs. They almost beat Vitality, right? So
yeah.
Teams have just leveled up. Players have leveled up. It's not like versus Finn is Giga. It's not. I was about to say it's insta win, right? Or Perks versus Nuke Duck. Like these teams have all figured out a way, and like I think the older players, you need to say, okay, it's not an insta win. We actually have to play the game right and well, and maybe they need to play all these hard to execute comps or because honestly they had the lead. They should have closed out that game. There's no excuse.
Yeah, that could have actually bounced back their mental to go like, okay, now we can do this. Nope, that didn't happen. So yeah, guys, we won't be seeing Vitality until the LEC 2022 summer split. And yeah, there's so many things you could pick apart for their roster to do. It's either you make roster changes.
No, they
or
can't.
If you don't want to. You think it's too much money invested right now?
Too much money invested. You'd have to wait till they have no choice unless it's very, very drastic. They have either they keep the current team now or they just let it play out till the end of summer split and see what happens. Because if you do that now, then one, you get backlash from the fans. Two, maybe they bounce back. So that's why it's such a it's such a thin line. You're
maybe they think, okay, there's the only angle that I have is that they were performing very well in scrims, and it just didn't work out on stage.
Yeah, but what's
you had
SK? I mean, it's
but that's the thing is like that's the thing, dude. Is even if they were performing well in scrims, they had the entirety of the regular season performing in scrims. They still didn't show it on stage. I think this is just a not good selection of players to have together.
I think it's a good. The players are like, because think about it, right?
But Lebrov hasn't looked good at all, dude. Lebrov is trash.
Lebrov is fine. How are you gonna blame Lebrov when he's? I mean, remember, Hillstein looks good because of the players. Okay, so my thing about think about it this way, right? Vitality made playoffs last summer with the team they had, which was like Leader, Crown Shot. Was it Shigenda, I believe?
Shigenda, Lebrov, yeah, and Selfmade.
Okay, think about that team, right? And they made playoffs still, right? Okay, so if he could make playoffs with that team, with almost the same same. I think the record was a little bit better. You would think that this team is better, so there has to be. I think the coaching staff has to be blamed because at some point you got to come to one of the players and be like, "Yo, Alfari, you're gonna be weak side. We're not playing around you. You're gonna be weak side every game. We're not gonna give you resources. I'm sorry, bro. You're just gonna have to, drop to your, go to the wall, bend over, and just, So like, like at some point, one of the players, like I think the reason why Yankos is still on G2 is because Yankos is probably the guy that says, you know what, I'm gonna play whatever the team needs, and you don't.
And there's not gonna be that player on Vitality, dude. That doesn't exist. Selfmade's not gonna do that. We've seen it through many iterations with him, multiple rosters with this guy. He just wants to be a carry jungler. That's what he wants to be.
I mean,
and it also doesn't help that their bot lane just auto loses every single matchup known to man. You know,
that's like, again, I think bot lane is I think a separate team, and I think like we saw with like I don't know, I'm trying to think like Sven, right? He was good with Vulcan, like it really when you pair two people together, they have to play off of each other, right? And that's the thing.
Yeah, that's not the thing with Karzi and Labrov. That's not the thing. They're just not good together. And Post Karzi himself is also playing bad. And I think Labrov is still playing like shit.
Yeah.
And then
Labrov, bro.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He fucking Nautilus hooks his brain into the abyss of death.
Okay.
Well, next. So Vitality. This is just my verdict on them. You make roster changes, or you just settle for whatever fucking you had this past split.
Or they bounce back.
There's three things. There's always the third.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, could they bounce back? Sure. Could my dad come back into my life?
Nope.
There you go. See, that's the thing. That's all I can pretty much say. Like Warren said, that I do agree with. Clashing personalities with Perks, Alfari, and Selfmade, it's never going to work out between those three in terms of how they want to play the game. It'll never work out between them. But now we have Rogue versus Fnatic, the most exciting best of 5 for this past week for the LEC. Obviously, Rogue staying in the upper bracket, beating Misfits 3-1, and then against Fnatic, even in the games they lost, they still looked really competitive, actually. Larson, in particular, looked pretty solid throughout the entirety of the best of 5. Malrong, all of them looked solid throughout the best of 5, but they weren't like inherently playing bad. It was just like Fnatic's drafts and how they played the game worked better in the first 2 games, and they also had a salty run back, which wasn't obviously what they needed, you know? Oh, shit. So I'll ask you, man, what did you think about this best of 5 between Fnatic and Rogue?
Fnatic and Rogue, I think I have to say that Malrong is probably MVP. I think if you take Malrong off that team, Rogue is not a good team.
Yeah. Like, if you wanted to make a playoffs MVP, I would definitely give it to Malrong. This guy's just been so good, you know? I got why people gave Vithio the MVP for the regular season, but Malrong was just straight up destroying people. Like, it was just unfair for the enemy team.
Well, honestly, I feel like I feel bad for Vithio because Vithio is like basically MSF is basically Hanwha of LEC because like here I don't know what happened to Hero. Maybe he's afraid of going back and serving military in Korea. I don't know. Because it's petty. I'm awful. I'm really awful.
Dude, your brain is fried, Warren. You need to. Your brain on a skillet. Warren's brain is on a skillet today.
I think that's why Malrong is performing. He doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to serve in. But no.
Here's been performing very bad, dude. Here's performing like shit.
You know, and I think that's here, and I realized why. Gwen was one of his big champs that he played, and also I felt like they put Hirat on some champions that like Hirat popped off on Jason, Fiora, and like I don't like when I see Hirat on like Gnar, it doesn't feel right. Maybe do you get that same feeling, or maybe that's just me?
Well, last year I think Razork played around Herit, and that also contributed to make him looking a whole lot as good as he did initially. But then when he was playing Gangplank in playoffs, he was playing Camille, Jace. He looked really good just on his own with, Fiora, Gangplank, Gwen. This year, this Misfits roster doesn't know how to play around him. But when you contrast that with Rogue, Odoamne is playing very well on his own. Even being a weak side top laner, he's actually, acting and playing like a carry. And that's the thing with Fnatic, though, that I don't really understand why people don't really see this. Their bot lane is good. Humanoid, he has these weird, inconsistent days where if he underperforms, people just don't even call that out. But if that was Larson, people go like, "Oh my god, man, he's sucking, he's choking." But Humanoid, in the later of this best of 5, this guy was sucking balls. This guy was choking on whatever fucking cock he was smoking. He was playing like shit. He was playing like shit. He was playing like straight up shit. Even in the Corki game, like he was trying to like not unload his package on everyone and shit.
Whoa.
Like,
oh my god, saucy.
Like Humanoid, I think underperformed in this series. I don't really know why Fnatic got Razork. Now that I look back on it, I thought initially it'd be a good idea because I thought Razork played well on Misfits. Initially the pickup makes sense. Initially it does, but when you're looking back on it, you're going like, okay, how are they utilizing Razork? Like Razork and Humanoid synergy is not even the best, but it could be the best given what champions they're on. Hylissang is always going to be on a playmaking support because that's what you need Hylissang on. If you have him on anything else, you're essentially just trolling. Like when you're on Fnatic, you're buying into the Hylissang mindset. I pick an engaged champion and I just go in. That's what I do. And even in the games Rogue lost, they still looked really competitive. This was a really close game, actually. So, what do you think, man?
I think, I don't know. I have G2 as the dark horse, but I still have Fnatic winning the whole thing.
If Fnatic win the whole thing, I'll fucking get naked on fucking stream again. Holy shit.
Oh, please, don't do that. Please don't do that. No, thanks.
I know Fnatic won't win the playoffs. If Fnatic win the playoffs, I'll get naked for 5 minutes again on stream. That's not going to happen.
I'm good. Thanks. Thanks.
Oh, my God. All right, so that was my thing with Fnatic. Like, Wonder has these really off games. Like, he can't really carry, but he's not going to also lose you the game. But then there's days where he does the complete opposite. I don't really understand. There's games where Hylissang will go too far in, give over a lane advantage. It seems like when Fnatic are losing in the early game, they just break down. They go like, okay, GG, go next, is what you do, honestly. Whereas with this Rogue team, if they're losing, they'll try and fight it out, which is something you need out of Rogue. I think after this week, Rogue is going to win. I think this is their title to win this time around.
Rogue is Gen G of LEC.
Oh my God. Well, what if they win this past week, actually?
They're not going to win. I'm gonna laugh, man.
I'm not on the Rogue hype train. I think G2 can get to the finals. I think Fnatic is getting third, and G2 will lose to Rogue in the finals.
Because, like, let's be honest, right?
Comp and Trimby are a good bot lane. Comp is like the best ADC in the league.
If Rogue were to match up with G2, I can see G2 beat Rogue.
But Rogue's players have all played well throughout the whole split.
Better than Balrog.
Not even close. Malrong could beat his ass.
No, Broken Blaze is better than Odoamne, and Caps is better than Larson. Let's stop that right now.
No, Larson right now is better than Caps.
He has
right now he's better than Caps.
Oh my God, right now.
I'm saying you gotta look, Warren, you gotta look at it right now for what it is. Rogue are gonna win. I'll stick these glasses up my ass if Rogue lose the finals.
Please. You know what? You should like have like a vegan patty and eat it on stream.
Oh Lord, you trying to kill me? That's death in itself. Holy shit. Oh, that looks like Sean. That's like Sean if he sold me car insurance. Holy shit. But yeah, Fnatic win the first 2 games. Rogue end up winning the later 3. This is a game they needed because they put Larson on Silas. Larson was like 18-1 on Silas. And you know he's thinking like, okay, if I'm 18-1 on Silas, I'll just keep picking Silas. Then, oh my lord, Fnatic lose to this composition, and then they give them the same champions the next game. But Warren's like, yeah, they'll win they're gonna win the finals. They're gonna win the playoffs. Picking like that, they got apps. This game was close to a certain extent. Obviously, it was back and forth for a little bit. But if you lost this composition, why did you give them the same champions? Like Larson was absolutely just dominating Humanoid.
Maybe they thought it was a fluke.
Maybe they thought it was a fluke. It went 8-1 on Silas.
Honestly,
are they blind? Are they fucking like this?
If Rogue makes it to MSI, I want them to match up with T1. So, I just want them to match up with T1 and have T1 just rape their butthole.
Oh my god, dude! Jesus fucking Christ! What's up, Sean? How you doing, man?
Slept again.
Hey,
so, Sean,
Well,
what did you think about when Rogue reverse swept Fnatic actually?
well, but I can't say I'm surprised, honestly.
You just woke up, that's why you're surprised. That's why you're not surprised. Stop lying, Sean. You know you just woke up.
I mean, I figured Fnatic would take it to 5 at least because they're experienced and they could have won it. I didn't know that Rogue was the better team, so I mean,
Rogue's gonna win the finals. That what you're saying? You're putting all your stock into Rogue, taking your bank account and putting all your stock in. What's that thing in poker? You're all in. So you're basically saying you're all in on Rogue right now, aren't you?
I mean, I still think G2 could have if they just had better chemistry.
It looks like they got it after the Misfits series. But hey, when Rogue wins this past week, you guys are both gonna suck my fat cock. That's what's gonna happen.
I'm not ever gonna be close enough to do that. So.
All right, so this game was a complete stomp on Rogue's part, and then Rogue ended up beating the shit out of them in this game, and they have Game 5, where Rogue also proceeded to beat the shit out of them. So, yeah, Rogue ended up making the LEC 2022 Spring Split Finals. Fnatic got to go back to the drawing board, man. And this is the thing, Fnatic's bot lane can be matched and beaten by Rogue's bot lane. Comp and Trimby are also really good. Larson can match Humanoid. Malron's definitely better than Razork, and then Ottawamne right now is playing better than Wonder, and has been playing better than Wonder for quite some time. So Rogue right now definitely, shoving that
championships. So let's not.
Ottawamne's got championships in second place.
Oh yeah, because I'm sure that's why he cries on stage every time he gets second place, right? Okay.
Warren, you are evil. You are going to hell. You know that? Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Maybe his girlfriend can give him sex like she always does when he loses in the final.
That's not a bad thing, though. Like, how's that a bad thing? I don't like you. What the fuck? All right. This best of 5 was, I'm pretty sure this came out as well as it should have. G2 versus Misfits. This was Misfits' last shot at, doing anything with their careers, life, etc. And this was one of the things. Caps actually had a really good series against Misfits, against VTO, who a lot of people, including myself, had the MVP for the regular season. Remember, that's a regular season award. So you have the MVP in VTO. Essentially, that's all you have. Because Misfits just massively underperformed. Caps overperformed in the series, definitely beat VTO. And a lot of people said, Misfits having that 2-week break is what really stopped them from picking up more steam. But guys, let's be honest here. They weren't really that good. A lot of their wins came from a lot of teams throwing their leads against them.
And there was a lot of lower team wins that
they were really good against the lower teams, but against like the top tier teams, they got railed most of the time. Rogue beat the shit out of them. Fnatic beat the shit out of them, and also did G2. But one of the wins they got against G2 and Fnatic also came from the fact that Fnatic and G2 got really G2 got an insane
good job,
against
Flaton.
them.
Good job.
Good job. There you go. Good job. Like, I know a lot of people were like kind of sad and bittersweet that it ends for them like this, but like, let's be honest here. They weren't going to do anything in playoffs. We know Misfits is just the VTO show. I think Neon stepped up. I know he did. But
Yeah,
Neon's
Neon definitely stepped up.
But he's not that kind of player where he's going to carry the whole series, put his team on his back kind of player. Then you had Cloud9 and Mursa. I don't even know if they have brains. I think they just have fucking noodles for like brains.
Fair, okay, wait. Come on.
Cloud9 played like shit, Warren.
No, that's not what I'm not going to excuse the bad play, but this is their first ever LEC playoffs. Like, you know, got to put it in perspective. Like, if they
What's up, Professor Dark? How you doing, man?
Even the analyst said like when they compared teams, when they did a compare and contrast of like how many games LEC playoffs.
Yeah,
it's like
I'll say this. They do have a relatively young squad. That's understandable. But they did choke pretty hard in this series. Like, nothing they did in this series worked at all. Drafting didn't work. Team play didn't work. Macro decisions didn't work. They got so shit stomped by Rogue. They were like, you know what? Let's just go on an early vacation. And that's the thing. That's why I said last year, them getting rid of Vander was not something that they needed. I think Vander would still be a good support for them, and he's a player with experience that could also help out in these playoff situations. I don't know why you just get rid of him for a rookie player that honestly isn't even that good to begin with. Like, people said Mursa's like Trimby. No, he's not. He doesn't even play as good as what Trimby did. At least last year I went like, Trimby, okay, there's something here where I could be like, okay, this is why Rogue got this guy. I've not seen that in Mursa at all. I'm sorry, I just haven't. Cloud9, I don't know what I see in that guy. I mean, I see my dad leaving my life essentially when I watch Cloud9.
Listen, it's okay because they'll pick up Promise Q and make it all better.
Oh Lord! Please, good Lord, stop that! That man's been stealing so many paychecks. Stop it.
But Promise Q has more international titles than Otawamne.
That's true.
Hey,
that's true.
Promise Q won MSI. Does that count?
He did. That is very true.
So, yeah, like, there's nothing really VTO can do. I mean, yeah, they had the part right here where G2 overextended into them. And then you had that one tweet from Laurel. She said there's 2 girls and 1 caps. I'm like, damn, that kind of gave me some thoughts right there, you know?
Oh, shut up.
Oh, my God, Sean. Why are you no fun? Oh, my God.
Just woke up.
Yes, wait, so you're saying you're into that? Okay, then, MSK.
2 girls and 1 guy? Yeah, I had that happen to me a bunch of times, dude. Like, obviously.
Yeah, sure.
So now this is now for G2, because a lot of people were campaigning for G2 to get rid of caps after they lost to Fnatic. Now, looking at a lot of people on the G2 Reddit were like, why don't we just get rid of caps? He's been massively underperforming.
I mean, that's the dumbest thing ever. And I'm not even a G2 fan. That'd be the dumbest thing ever. What?
Kafta, what's up, man? How you doing, dude? Yo, quick. Who are y'all blaming primarily for C9's losses? Blabber and Winsome, actually. Blabber and Winsome is what I'll say, because they played like shit.
They should have kept LS, as much as I don't want to admit it.
Yeah, it's starting to come out that way. But that's who I would quickly blame. So, yeah, that's it. I mean, guys, let's be honest, there's nothing here. It's just watching Misfits just get completely clapped. I'll ask Sean, what did you think about this series between G2 versus Misfits?
Well, I thought that Hero improved at least in this series. And yeah, that's about it. They fucking suck.
Well, hey, there's always the bright side of things, guys. There's always the bright side. And guess what it is? Misfits at least get 4th.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Summer, honestly, that's at this point, Summer doesn't really matter. Like, I just feel like MSI is just, like, I don't know. MSI just seems whack now. It doesn't seem like it's...
Oh, my. It's because your favorite teams aren't winning. Get the fuck out of here.
No. Like, even last year, it's like, even though RNG won MSI, it's like, well, whatever.
Weren't you sucking off the LPL? LPL's the best team in the world.
They are. I can't wait for Comp and them to see how to get humbled by Guma Yusi and
Comp's gonna stop Guma Yusi. Comp is gonna stop Guma Yusi. What are you talking about, dude?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, don't get me wrong. RNG is still is number 2, so they're still doing fine. I'm still rooting for RNG, so whatever.
But if V5 go to MSI and get their asses handed to them by Team 1, I want you to cry on stream.
I'm not gonna cry. Rookie's beating Faker. What are you talking about?
Oh my god. Oh shit. But yeah, guys, that's it for Misfits. We won't be seeing them until the LEC 2022 summer split. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe this split was just a fluke by them. Maybe they did crumble in summer because a lot of their wins came from a lot of throws. It wasn't just them beating those teams just outright.
I have a Strawless and SK making playoffs, so.
You said that this split too.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think this is a pattern. I'm sorry. I think this is a pattern with Warren here.
No, I didn't. I did not say. I said that they had a chance to make playoffs, but whatever.
Shit!
What do you have for the predictions though for G2 versus Fnatic?
Let's go. It's time to do predictions. Holy shit! All right, guys, who's winning the LEC 2022 Spring Split Finals? All right, so gonna have to predict this to the two ways that we see it, just like last week. Okay, so Fnatic versus G2. Who's getting into the finals?
I'm gonna go 5 games with G2 and then 3-1 with Rogue. As I said, though, I did say if G2 was gonna go on that streak and win or make finals, it would be in the lower bracket.
They're picking up steam. They're picking up steam right here.
So far, can you put up the can you go back? Not back, but scroll the.
Yeah.
Yeah. So far, G2 has played 4, 7, 10 games so far.
God damn.
That's a lot of games. So I think they're ramping up. I have G2 3-2, and I have G2 beating Rogue. I just think G2 has more unpredictability, and Rogue won't be able to draft against it. And I think Broken Blade will be the key factor. But I have G2 beating Fnatic. I think just G2's just been leveling up. Maybe I'm going off of recency bias, but after seeing their performance, because they could have crumbled against Vitality in that third game.
Yeah, because that series wasn't perfect. That series was really sloppy on both team sides.
Right, and they seemed much cleaner against Misfits, so that's why. And I'm going G2 winning the whole thing, but yeah, those are my predictions.
I mean, I would agree with you with finals. I think that Rogue will kind of shut out their creativity and just play smart, sort of like what Mad did against Fnatic in summer.
Let me see. I have for G2 versus Fnatic. I think G2 get their revenge this time around. Also, fun fact: Fnatic has beaten G2 in their last 2 best of 5s, actually. So yeah, G2 want to come in and win that. They lost the qualifying match last year to go to Worlds against Fnatic, and they just recently lost to them in a playoff scenario again. So the last 2 best of 5s have gone Fnatic's way. I think G2 win this time around. It's going to be 3-2. It should have been 3-2 the last time around, but G2 definitely fumbled that game 4. So I'm saying G2 win 3-2. Rogue against G2. If that's the finals, I think Rogue actually get the win. And I think Rogue gets it 3-1. Actually, I think Rogue they have the better players right now, and they're also firing on all cylinders too. Rogue has won against Misfits. Rogue just beat Fnatic. They're also ramping up too. So you're gonna have 2 teams essentially ramping up toward the upper bracket and the lower bracket. And I just think that Comp and Trimby are just a better bot lane too. And I think Larson right now is just outperforming Caps and playing more consistently than Caps. Caps has games where he just isn't even relevant, And I think Malrong is just right now better than Genkos as well. But I'm not saying Genkos is that much worse than him either.
Genkos is having his best split. What are you talking about?
Malrong as well. What are you saying? Warren, do you want to just fuck me right now? Holy shit.
No,
Genkos hasn't been having one of his best splits, but I do still think he's top 2.
But wait a minute, how can you be top 2 when not having a best split?
Because he was like first in almost every other split besides last split.
You what?
All right, so if Fnatic beat G2, and so you have to kind of predict it 2 ways. If Fnatic end up beating G2 and Rogue end up facing Fnatic, I'm saying Rogue win in both scenarios. I think Rogue can definitely beat them in both.
I just don't see. Honestly, I think Rogue showed a little bit too much with the Silas, and I think Caps is just better than Larson, man.
They showed the adaptability when a certain strategy wasn't working out for them. They completely switched it over. You know, I don't know if G2 can play multiple different styles. You don't have to, but having that does put an extra edge in Rogues.
But the thing is, what did G2 did? They did a lot of experimenting this entire.
A lot, just like I did when I was younger.
When they played simple, shut up. When they played simple to execute comps, they were really scary. So think about that. Rogue is basically considered quote unquote boring, or that's what they're known for because they play late game comps that work, and you know how. If G2 can already play their style, that's why I give them the edge. Because it's like, okay, if they try experiment and it don't work, they can go back and fall to a simpler comp and out simplify Rogue. Mm-hmm. That's what I think. But maybe I'm wrong. I think it's gonna come down to. I mean, it sounds really weird, but it's gonna. I think it's gonna come down to mid jungle at the end of the day. Actually,
it definitely comes down to that. If Malrong and Larson perform better than Caps and Genkos, it's gonna be a wrap. Because also, and then also Broken Blade. If Oda Wamne can play as good as he has been recently against Broken Blade, like the point of strengths for G2 is what? Broken Blade, right? They play through him. Right. Or their bot, you can play through their bot lane, but they don't normally do that. Whereas Rogue's bot lane is just good throughout, and Rogue's bot lane can carry as well. I'll say this, guys. You guys know me. I'm not biased, and I just think Rogue right now are the best team. I think they get their first title. I could be wrong. I
want them to.
You know, Warren, you've always advocated for different teams winning in the LEC.
Yeah,
don't you want that?
No, because I want Oda Wamne to never win a championship.
Okay, you are just a piece of shit. Oh my god, fucking hell!
You what?
God, holy shit!
That sounds awful.
Let the darkness out of your heart, dude. Holy shit! Jesus fuck.
You want his like fucking girlfriend or something that you just break up with him.
Oh my god. Okay, so that's it for the LEC, and I hope Time for the LCS, the best region on the earth. So we had fans come back actually, and people were going like, you know, you love Cloud9. I do, but I wasn't gonna predict them against 100 Thieves. I knew 100 Thieves were better at this current moment in time. You know, I said 3-1. It was a 3-0. You know, I said TL would clap EG. It kind of looked like it was a mixture of clapping, but EG played really competitive, honestly. So here, I'll ask you guys before we go over the series. What did you guys think about Cloud9 versus 100 Thieves?
Overrated,
a lot of nerves.
Overpaid.
Overpaid.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go, Warren. There you go.
Yeah,
That's how you do it.
I forgot if I said like 5 games for Team Liquid and or EG, or if I just said 1, but yeah, I mean, this is about how I would expected them to go. I mean, EG could have won, but you know, they whatever.
Didn't they throw game 3 actually?
Yeah. Again, this is what I said though. Like, if 100 Thieves, I said this before, and I'll say it again. If 100 Thieves or Team Liquid wins the split, then that's just horrible for NA because they've hit a ceiling, and it's not even that high. It's moderate, and these other teams should honestly improve. So if none of them can fucking win the split, then yeah, that's just a bad sign for NA.
Okay. See,
I expected C9 to get 0-3, not knowing what the fuck they're doing right now.
Yeah, those Max Waldo drafts were getting heavily criticized. I'll tell you that right now.
They looked fucking better, but Max Waldo's like, hey, let's go home early.
Let's go home and take a nap.
No, let's go to the lower round and, you know, do the
lower bracket run. Here we go.
Yeah.
The lower bracket run. There we go. Okay, so we had Cloud9 versus the 100 Thieves. My thing with the series is having the fans back in attendance. Man, Winsome was literally, I don't know if his eyes were fucking shrinking or some shit, because he was playing like dog crap. Like, straight up scenarios where you know people are in certain places and then he still got caught out. How does that even make any sense? You know?
Maybe. I was gonna say something, but I don't want to get canceled.
So this is the thing. Oh my god, there's so many things I could say, but let's just start at the drafting. Let's just start there. Okay? So Cloud9, one of their biggest strengths is playing through top lane. Summit is really good, obviously. But since they know that Cloud9 plays through their top lane.
Renekton was a dumb pick. I'm sorry.
Are you on that Renekton is a bad pick hype train?
It's a bad champion right now. Like, what? Okay, bro. Sion could do
Impact played it okay.
Yeah, but Renekton's so useless. You have to win so hard, man. Like,
yeah, that's the thing. I don't like the Renekton pick either. But okay, so this is what I'll say. The other opposing teams know that Cloud9 play through their top laner. They know their top laner is the strongest player on the team, right? So they know if they draft and ban certain champions against Summit, Cloud9 gets pincered, because this is one of the issues I brought up weeks ago with Cloud9 when they did lose a few games more in the regular season, right? Which was Fudge is not going to be an X Factor player, because I know people said he just does his job. Yeah, but winning titles is not just doing your job. It's not that kind of LCS anymore, right? Or back in the day where Pobelter was just doing his job and just winning. It's not that kind of place. C9 have a really good top laner in Summit. Obviously, everyone knows that. I think Berserker is a solid, good AD carry. I think he still needs to work on a lot more things, but he's solid enough, right? Then you look at your mid lane. He's not that good. Like, I'm sorry, you need a mid laner who's better than him. I'm sorry, because you can't just leave all of that on Summit and Berserker. Fudge, he's not going to be someone that changes the game or is an X Factor or a carry player to a certain extent, unless he's playing basic champions where it's just point and click CC. That's fine if you're playing Ori and Rise.
Well, to be fair, right? Where was he gonna, like? It's either he role swap or would have been on.
Or he's jobless.
Right. So like, I can't really blame Fudge, but to be fair, they still ended the split at a good record. So I think it came down to
be fair, the mid lane pool was. To be fair, dude, the mid lane pool in LCS was really weak, honestly. Even with Bjergsen in it too.
Oh, Bjergsen, please.
Bjergsen's the best mid laner on this planet, obviously. But as you guys know, that's what I personally think is an issue with Cloud9 right here. Is Fudge is just not a good mid laner, and the issue here is that you need a good mid laner if you're Cloud9, because they obviously want to compete for titles, do well internationally, all that other stuff we talked about in the past, obviously. The thing here is, without having a mid laner that can actually perform very well and tip the edge, it's not he has to be so well he just makes the edge lopsided as massive as fuck. He has to be able to tip the edge just enough so he can be a point of carry for Cloud9. Also, it's not just all Fudge's fault, obviously. Blabber got caught out immediately when the game started. And this is the thing. This blew my mind when I first watched this game, because I'm watching this game on my break. They know where they're at. They saw them. They literally saw them walk there. And Blabber's like, I'll just stay here and just die. What the fuck? They saw them all walk there because you could see them on the map. They're like, easy first blood. Fuck. Okay, just game over. If we're going to act like Ray Charles on fucking playoff series, then sure. Just go for it. I want to. No, fuck. Okay, Warren, you can go to hell, personally. Fuck you. And then right there, Blabber was not helping out Summit at all. Blabber knows one of the best parts about Cloud9 is to play through their top laner. He's just absent, and I don't like the Diana pick, because Diana doesn't do anything early on. She has to scale to hit level 6 to do anything, so she has relatively no early game impact. You give Closer Lee Sin. Lee Sin is one of Closer's best champions. Closer, to me, played better than Blabber throughout the entirety of the spring split anyway, even when 100 Thieves looked like shit at various points in times. So Abadage, he's been coming back to form, and I think 100 Thieves just have been coming back to form, back to where we know they should have been at when the spring split first started. FBI and Huhi played pretty well. Winsome and Berserker, they've had issues in their laning phase. Like I've talked about before, they've had issues in their laning phase. They did. They don't necessarily win a lot of the laning phases. They just look like shit sometimes laning phase. Team fighting, it looks a lot better from them. I mean, that's like 100 Thieves doesn't do anything special. They just have really good players to just run over people if they get a certain amount of good champions. And I don't know why they picked Renekton, honestly. But hey, dude, we'll see how it goes, man. But that's just my initial thoughts on game one. Game one was just a complete stomp. Like the drafting phase is off too, because like before Cloud9 we're not picking Zeri, but Berserker is just not a good Zeri. Like I don't think Berserker is a good Zeri at all, honestly. What do you think, Warren?
I would have liked Camille. I'm not sure if Camille got banned, but I would have liked Camille because it still gives you a decent engage. She's skilled, and you have an option in the side lane. Like Renekton just gets outscaled by the Ornn just due to his passive and how Ornn, and then Ornn, remember, he's giving Ornn items throughout the game. So what value do you get in Renekton if you don't win by like 25 minutes or 26? You know what I mean? So that's why I don't really like him. And he's kind of, and if you've noticed throughout most major regions, he's not being picked more. It's typically like Jace, Graves would have been fine here too. Graves works too, because Graves can go on the side lane as well. Like I don't understand why they didn't. Like if you're gonna put someone on a carry, I think someone would have done better with Graves than with Renekton. But I don't know. That's maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Closer got massively far ahead on Lee Sin. You also had Abadage essentially out farming, laning consistently well against Fudge. Like that's the thing. Abadage doesn't have to do anything as long as you just push Fudge back and just out lane him or just go even. It's fine. There's nothing. Fudge isn't gonna take over the game. Then Blabber's just like, you know what? I'll just go and die. Good job, Blabber. Good job, dude. Good job, man. Oh shit. Like, look at, like, they can't even kill them when they're that low. If you can't kill them when they're that low, this game's over. GG, go next. Good job, Summit. Good job, dude. You're the best, man. Couldn't have done it without you.
You're a real C9 fan.
I'm a realistic fan because I spit the facts. That's what I do.
So you're gonna root for TSM?
Okay. Okay. I'm not retarded, Warren. I'm not like gonna go die. Essentially, holy shit. You could tell having the fans in attendance was really having a big strain on Winsome. He just had a really awful series, essentially.
Okay, I've been saying this for a few years. Why do they refuse not to put a glass case over the player's computer so that they like you can still have the fans there, but when you go to have you ever seen the Dota TI tournament?
Yeah, they have that for
I wish they did that. That would be awesome, but I mean they want to spend more money in like making skins, so
yeah, like I don't understand why they don't do that for every fucking region, because it makes such a big difference, man. Like they can focus on the game. Like I get like you can still hear the crowd in the glass surrounding, but it's not as like loud. Like even though you have headphones, you're still hearing the crowd. Like it's
again, I cannot believe Closer did not make the first All Pro team.
Oh yeah, because guys, I have my LCS 2022 Spring Split All Pro teams here that I'll go over. Obviously, you know.
I mean, I will say though, Warren, if they did that, I think it would be worse for C9 because they're better with playing live in front of a crowd than, like isolated. So that's the whole reason. That's basically the whole reason why they missed Worlds that one year playing at home. They were not the same.
Because this is okay. So, Sean, I'll ask you, what do you think went wrong with Cloud9 and 100 Thieves beside literally everything?
I mean, I honestly don't know. I think it just
a lot of people say draft, but like
I don't want to say it. I mean, it is draft.
It can't all just be on the draft, though.
It's not all just on that, but that is a big reason of why they lost the series, because they did genuinely look better when they actually, even with the dog shit drafts, like they should have won game 2 otherwise, and game 3.
Dude, when I watched game 2 live, I was like, oh, okay, they're gonna win this game. Came back, they lost. I was like, okay.
Game 2 should have, if not for the draft. In game 3, I don't know if they would have won, but it would have been neck and neck, like 50-50. This draft was so bad against their draft, they didn't even have a chance right away. So, I mean, I can't judge them too much for this, but I think they would have lost the game either way, no matter the draft here, but unless 100 Thieves draft like shit. But, I mean, I think, like, I don't know what the issue is, like, this. But this has been happening for like Cloud ever since like I'm not gonna say like loose and sneaky was the problem, but ever since then though they've been having like this weird internal inconsistency issue every fucking year, and it's getting
I mean, when they
annoying
had
that
Niski,
nobody
Niski was
knows.
good. Like when they had Niski, it was like somewhat decently good, but you don't even have Niski now.
Oh, that was, the year before he retired left, but I mean, like, God, it's been happening like every fucking year since though, and like nobody can pinpoint the issue. Like, it's just fucking driving me insane. Like, it did also sort of happen in the last split with Sneaky, but then we realized it's because some players had injury issues, so we're like, okay, we'll give that a free pass. Since after he retired, though, fuck, it's just been like an inconsistency train. I don't get it.
All right, so the next game, they went through a salty run back. Cloud9's like, you know what? Okay, let's just run it back. They actually do get first blood. And you're like, okay, maybe the first game was kind of a fluke. You have those in best of fives, right? Well, you know what? Just like my dad in my life, when I thought I was going to get him, it didn't happen. Just like that time, I thought I was going to have sex with that one girl because she asked to come over. And she was like, you know what? I can't have sex with you right now because my boyfriend is also having sex with me. I'm like, what the fuck? But yes, Fudge, being in a side lane by himself, he definitely avoided that gank, which was good. I just don't know why would you run back the same composition if it didn't work the first time. But they did get ahead in this game a little bit. So you're thinking to yourself, if you had a different composition, would it have worked out differently? Because if they got ahead with this comp, then it's not the comp. Then it's just them playing it out, Why is Blabber not up at top at all? Blabber was invisible because by stats, Blabber has the lowest jungle proximity to top lane out of all the junglers in the league.
Renekton again. Just why would they pick Renekton? He's not a good champ. Fuck off. I'm sorry. Anytime he does good, it's not because of the champ. It's the same thing with like Zillion support. Even if he looks amazing and you win with him, it's just because of the team, not the fucking champ.
Holy shit. Oh my God. Just watching this game. I mean, they played better this game. I just don't know. Was it the fans? They got stage nerves. Well, that definitely happened with Winsome. Yeah, and I agree with Kafta as well. Winsome just has no concept of when to really go in. He'll go in at like inopportune times and just die and just gives over an advantage that the team could have had over. The Renekton pick, I just really wasn't understanding it, because if the Renekton pick is not giving you any value, why are you picking it the second time around? And they know to really fully make the Renekton pick look good, Blabber has to go top lane to gank for him. And if Blabber's not going to go top lane, why are you picking a top laner that needs to get ahead?
You know what's so funny? You know what is so funny right here? Malphite would have been fine here.
Oh, imagine a 4-man Malphite knockup right there when he just did that. That'd be the ace, and it would have just instantly got Baron after that.
Like, it's so sad when Malphite. I mean, okay, let's say Malphite isn't sad, because Malphite is actually a good pick into Jace, as well, as long as you ban Silas, right? But Malphite still is like, he still can like front line. He scales, right? It's like, I agree with Sean. I just don't understand the Renekton pick. Like, you could have gone Sion too. Sion's a good, like,
Sion would be fine.
Or GP. If you really want something to carry, GP would, like, could you imagine a 4-man barrel, right? Like,
good job, Summit. Summit's like, I'll just lose my brain.
Could you imagine
in and dive
like a full GP ult in the middle of that, like, Baron pit? I mean, I don't understand.
The problem here is if you those top laners, you're right. Those top laners work. But the issue here is the team synergy has just been falling apart. To Golden Guardians when they face them, I'm pretty sure they'll beat them. But it's looking like that might be okay, Warren, you're a piece of shit, honestly. But so this fight right here, Thieves are taking Baron, and they literally just poked them out. Abadake just throws Chaos Storm and lasers right there. They can't go through that. They're all going to get chunked out. They actually do all go through it. You know what? They're like, you know what? There's a Chaos Storm right there. Let's just all go through that. Yeah, that's definitely going to work. They do get a kill onto Huhi. They should have just backed off after that. I don't know why someone just goes in right there. That doesn't make any sense, obviously. To just go in as where he did. I don't know how Berserker got there. Somehow he's just on the side by himself. But he lived. So it's whatever, honestly. Thieves get the Baron. They ended up closing up the game. You move to game fucking 3. And right there, This is where it all ends. Cloud9 did get first blood, and Closer ended up actually killing Fudge. Fudge just not having a good series, man. And that's why I'm saying, like, they need a mid laner who's not going to just be a liability. He's just kind of a liability.
Come on, he did fine. It was not the issue. He did good, I would say.
But mid lane is a very important position where you need that X factor player in, and he's not gonna be that. And I don't know why Winston was walking right there in front of 3 people.
I don't
why
think
would
he'll
you
be like
be
an
right
X factor player. I don't know, but I think he can do well enough in summer where, as long as the rest of the team is great enough, then yeah, you can win with him. But I mean, we'll see, I guess.
Alexander, what's up, man? How you doing, dude? Alexander says, it's actually crazy how he thinks that Renekton is good here. Did you see the LS clip where he calls out his small champion pool? He played like 5 to 6 champs in the last year, if I recall. It's not really about the small... yeah, I did
Did you see that Twitter post he made?
Oh, Lord. Like,
the
it's not really...
in this fucking thing.
It's not really about the small champion pool, because a lot of players have small champion pools. It's not really that. It's about how you utilize the champions, essentially. Why shit like this? It blows my mind. He literally sees them. He sees them. There's no way he doesn't know that. He knows there's a Lee Sin here invading. So why would he not assume there's other people there when they've been losing the map? I don't get it. Like, his eyes are even smaller than what they look like on screen. Look at this. He knows they're right there. He sees them. He literally sees all 3 of them. He's like, you know what? Maybe, okay, I'll clear out vision. Okay, I'll clear out vision. Okay. Fog of War. He sees them right there. Why would you walk closer? Winston, please. Mercy on my soul. Winston, what are you doing? Mercy. Holy shit. Why? At that point, you know he's choking. At that point, you know he's just choking. It's over. Just go next. Holy shit. The Kraus is going like, okay, free 3-0. We're going to go home early today. Holy shit. All right. So that's just pretty much how I, see the series. Cloud9 did not play good at all, in this best of 5. I think that Cloud9 definitely needed something here. And I don't know, really knows what it is. Like, people say it's drafting. People say it's champion pools. I think it's not even just team synergy. Decision-making around the map was really hurting them, Like, this was a good avoid of the gank by Summit when it first initially started, but he couldn't avoid the second part of it because he's just locked in a trade. He can't recall, right? And he already used his ult. So, also you had Abadage using his Zir shuffle onto the bot lane at one point, and he got 3 more kills. The game just got so far wide blown open. Like, C9 didn't even pick a different ADC during the best of 5. They just stuck on Zeri, honestly. Like, Sean, what else do you think contributed to Cloud9's obliteration by 100 Thieves, honestly?
I don't know. I don't think they've been on... God, how do I say...
After they lost to TSM, they just really haven't been the same, honestly.
Oh, no, I think they weren't the same before that, which is why that loss didn't surprise me. And it was just that one was just a kind of a fluke anyway, but, so a draft diff. But, I just don't think they're really on the right page right now on scrims, I would say. Like, again, have you seen those tweets? Like, those weren't sarcastic tweets. They literally went, like, 0-20 right before in scrims against other teams, or, like, 0-10 or something before the last week of the split. So they've not been doing good there. And we've seen that and with some teams like G2, that's not an issue. But with Cloud9, honestly, scrim thing is a huge thing for them. Like, you remember that Worlds one, they were in 2018, like, they could have easily beat Fnatic and made finals, but then they literally went like 0-15 in scrims, and then they actually just played that bad in that. Like, they were not. This is what I think.
I think they start strong, but they finish weak. They have a really amazing start where a lot of people think they're really good, and rightfully so. They always play good at a certain point. They play good.
And I was kind of expecting that in this split. Honestly, I expected them to
start strong
expectations when a lot of people are like, okay, they'll be good in summer, but be bad in spring. No, I figured they would be good here, but then they would drop off in summer. But no, then they're like, yeah, hold my beer. We'll just drop off for playoffs. Fuck you. It's like, okay, you could have even at least won the split. Thank you.
And, like, wasn't that Jack's, like, biggest issue with, like, multiple Cloud9 rosters is they perform well for the regular season, and then in playoffs they just do good enough to get into playoffs, but when playoffs hits, they kind of just like fall apart, or they're just not as clean. Like the motivation just goes down because that's the goal, is to make playoffs, obviously, you know? And like that's the thing, is like Cloud9's had this through like a lot of their rosters. They just start strong and they kind of finish not as strong, you know? And my thing here is I don't know what the team can really do to bounce back right now, because there's a certain period where like you start slumping, and Cloud9, they were slumping in the past few weeks, right when they lost to TSM. This is the worst time to start slumping right now in playoffs. I think if they win against Golden Guardians, that can be the beginning of a bounce back for their mental state. But if they don't beat Golden Guardians, obviously they're out, and that's going to look really bad. And I think if they lose to Golden Guardians, they have to make some sort of a roster change. That, like, losing to Golden Guardians would be an absolute embarrassment for the organization. Like, that's for their standards about how they want to perform well. Honestly, if they lose to Golden Guardians, they're making roster changes. I don't know what roster changes they would do, but we'll have to see how it goes. Winsome is looking like I'm not going to say the weakest support that Cloud9 ever had, but it's definitely not making this case. That's why when you ask me, how would I rank him? I would put him like top 5. I wouldn't put him top 3, because he definitely had a lot of issues in terms of engaging, overextending, dying when they're clearing out vision, honestly. So, all right. That's 100 Thieves beating Cloud9. After that, it was really awesome to have fans back. And I told you guys before, having fans back was going to be a big thing for some teams, actually.
It was a huge thing, and I've been saying that to people, and they underestimated it. Like, God, I swear to God, when I clicked on the stream, I mean, I missed the fans at the start when they were like cheering during the introduction, so I completely forgot they even had fans in the arena for this. I thought it was just going to be finals, and then I was so shocked when I heard them cheer for the fucking first blood and shit. I'm like, wait, is my audio fucked? What's going on?
Yeah,
is there another tab? Is there another tab playing something?
I haven't heard. I haven't heard fans for a while at this point. It was like, it's been roughly 2 years.
Spring.
Yeah. Back, it was crazy because last time we had fans, it was Cloud9 versus TSM when that rivalry was still a thing, and G2 versus Fnatic.
Like, let this sink in. This is basic. This is kind of like the first time Fudge has played with fans, sort of. I mean, like,
this is the first time
Winsome, handful of games.
Berserker, Winsome, Fudge. This is their first time playing in a crowd, actually. Yeah. Oh, Danny, I think Danny held his own well with the fans around, because he played decently good in the series.
Yeah.
On Ezreal.
So I'd say mainly Spica, actually, because I'm not going to count that fucking gauntlet thing against Clutch Gaming where it was just thrown in. So if you don't count that, Spica entered the exact split where then there were no fans. So this is literally... And then he's still not playing without them because they didn't make playoffs. So he's the longest drought.
He's played with fans. 2020, before fans left, he played about 8 weeks with them there. Remember? Yeah, he was on that. No, my bad.
No, that was Dardoch. Yeah.
That was Dardoch, actually. No, you're right. Yeah, he played.
So if we don't count that Gauntlet Finals, which I'm not, which it was just thrown in, like, he has the longest drought without fans.
Holy shit! So
the MVP.
What did you think about this best of 5, EG versus Team Liquid? This was closer than I thought it looked like, honestly. So
I mean, I kind of expected to be pretty closer than we thought, but
do you think Bjergsen played well?
EG could have won, but
throwing is just a thing.
Yeah, for some reason, just every team against Team Liquid for the last like fucking 3 to 4 years, they look better, but they just throw because just a bunch of fucking kids like collapsing under the pressure, while Team Liquid, a bunch of old men with that experience.
Oh, Sean, stop! Listen, stop. Don't use this excuse now. Okay,
I told you, anytime Team Liquid wins a split in NA, it's not a good thing because their ceiling is always capped, and other teams have always like looked better than them in a lot of games. It's just the other teams collapsing under the pressure, and Team Liquid having that insane experience. So, but I mean, this could have been an EG win, but I'm not surprised. I figured, that the experience would prevail, just like against.
I mean, most people had
just like I
Team
thought
Liquid.
with Fnatic, which could have, but then they choked as well.
What's the thing? Most people had Team Liquid winning the series anyway. Honestly,
yeah,
that's the thing. It's not like they didn't. It's not like what you predicted didn't happen. Like most people went in knowing Team Liquid would probably win. It just all depends on can EG just play spoiler. You know.
I mean,
that's all it was.
What's more scary to you, Cloud9 in the lower bracket against EG or Team Liquid?
Both, honestly.
I mean, which one would you rather pick if you had the choice?
I wouldn't want to face either, but I think Team
would
Liquid
just
would
pick probably.
I would definitely not want to face Team
pick
Liquid.
Maybe like EG, honestly, just because then maybe Blabber can like play around mid more and just Jojo Pion, but unless they pick a bunch of
that last game for this series, that last game where Bjergsen was on Veigar against fucking Rise, Jojo Pion literally stopped laning and he just roamed. He was like, I can't win against this guy. I need to leave.
Yeah. Okay, why did they pick fucking Yuumi for Vulcan? I'm so.
Vulcan is not a good Yuumi player. He's not.
He's not, and like, oh hey, Filmelitis, but like, fuck, Vulcan's been like your best player. Like honestly, because I wouldn't rank Core JJ first in the league because he missed a lot of games, I would probably rank Vulcan like the best support.
Yeah, he's actually performed very well this split. He's performed very well, and like. That was one of the issues why Cloud9 lost many years, like in 2020 when they had him, when in a very clutch situation go to Worlds, because Reaper kept putting Vulcan on Yuumi, but Vulcan doesn't play very well with these supports that don't really make an impact.
I love that tutorial he made after they were eliminated from playoffs in summer. It's like, this is how you play Yuumi, so yeah, you join here, then you buy a build. Okay, now I'm going to go play some Minecraft so you can build your house, but you can do whatever you want. And I'm going to go read this book. I'll eat some popcorn. What I like to do when I play Yuumi is I like to, do some exercises.
And
then see that video.
I'll say this: like Santorin has had a really good split, and he's had a really good playoff so far too.
He should be more an MVP fucking conversation than fucking Wetbo, but I mean, I get. A lot of people are going to be like, yeah, but his lanes are super. It's all a bunch of legend. Okay, first off, Whippo's not a legend. Fuck off. But secondly, they're like, no, because Whippo has. Well, yes, he's like the top three top laner, and very versatile. Yeah, he's up there in the conversation too. But he also plays off a lot of games and gets cocky, and he's not as lane dominant as you think. Like so. Honestly, it's not as good as you think they are. Bjergsen has just not been very good this split. So, just because you see the name Bjergsen, like, no.
I think Bjergsen is just taking a step back this split and letting the team essentially carry, because he's been on TSM rosters where he's literally had to be the carry. That's essentially what it is. Now, he doesn't really have to do that. So he doesn't have to show a lot.
That's not true. That's not true, because Broken Blade carried a lot of games when he played with Broken Blade. That's not true. Take that. Run that back.
The one time. I'm warning this anecdotal evidence. I love it.
No, if you were to go back, I know Sean. I mean, Sean, you call out bullshit, but I'm pretty sure.
Wait, what do you mean? No, I said Broken Blade was their best player. When they had him.
No, he said that Bjergsen was carrying all the time. Remember, Broken Blade was with TSM for 2 years, so he.
That isn't true. MSK. I mean,
he carried sometime.
Whatever.
Not as consistent. I'm saying, hey, Jensen, more worlds for appearance. I'm just kidding.
I mean, this is what I'll say. He carried more times than Bjergsen did, than Bjergsen did when they were both on. When they were both on TSM, however, Bjergsen was still the better player. Like, it's the same thing with Huni. Like, yeah, Broken Blade was set up to carry, but he was they gave literally all the resources to him. Like most games, literally camped his lane for 20 minutes just to try to set him up to carry, and half of the time he would fail and just lose his brain. So.
Game 4, you had Dandy getting a quadra kill. Team Liquid's composition was. I don't know what the fuck it was, honestly. A mixture of poke, engage that really doesn't ever sync up as well as either. And then, obviously, in the series, they actually swapped Impact and Jojo Pion. You know, I thought that was a really interesting thing they did because that just wasn't expected. So you're probably thinking like, okay, they're drafting Lucian for mid and Rise top. Nope. They're just swapping the players to do it. And I thought that was a nice thing to switch it up when the best of 5 was at this point, EG on match point. They get the team fight and they definitely bring it to a game 5, the first best of 5, going the distance for the LCS 2022 spring split. Then in game 5, you had Team Liquid drafting Veigar, actually, and EG seeing what Cloud9 did with Renekton. Whew, that was something right there, seeing what EG did with Renekton. So EG won this game, okay? And you're thinking to yourself, okay, does EG now have the edge after they played out a game like that? Impact's going like, yeah, I did a really good job on Lucian. Or,
Goku.
Sorry, on Rise. Goku. Oh, okay, that's just, okay. Holy shit, I hate Warren so much. Yeah, Inspired just hasn't really been what EG's needed. He just might not be the player they need, honestly.
Bring back Svenskeren.
All right, so this composition, I'll say this, because EG picks Renekton, Nidalee, Rise, Aphelios, and Leona. Team Liquid picks Sion, Veigar, Jinx, and Tahm Kench. Yeah, Team Liquid's composition is way better. To really have an absolute effect on the map, Nidalee has to get ahead. And he just went even across the board. He didn't really make an impact in the game. And then impact on Renekton was losing to Sion. I was sitting there going like, what the fuck? So they saw Cloud9 pick Renekton. And then they were like, okay, yeah, we can pick Renekton. It did not work out for them. But later on, Impact got a triple kill onto Renekton when they had this team fight where TL overextended and lost. Then Hansama, Santorin, and CoreJJ, they dive the bot lane, they get ahead, they get an early game kill, and with Hansama getting that early game kill, there was a trade back kill that should have went to Danny, but it ended up going to Vulcan. So that gold was not going back into Danny, but it went into it went over to Hansama's side. Then when you have Hansama's Jinx getting that gold, he's gonna be far ahead. Hansama also laned better, CS better, team fought better. At a certain point in the game, Hansama was gonna be finishing his third item. Danny was barely finishing his first. So yeah, Team Liquid putting their resources into the bot lane. EG tried to fight back at certain points in time. I just don't really understand the Nidalee and the Renekton pick overall. I just don't understand it.
It's a dumb pick. The champion's been bad. I don't understand why. Okay, let me say this. LPL, and I hate to use it, and I hate making fun of the West, but LPL and LCK just know how to play Renekton better. Like, I get it. That's Impact's one of Impact's best champions, but on a compositional and knowing how to play around Renekton, those regions know how to play him better. I would have rather, maybe, again, a Sion, Aatrox would have even been a little bit better. Well, they had Sion, sorry. So I told you, like I said, Sion is a good pick.
And he got a solo kill, too, actually.
I mean, there's just... Even Set's not that bad. Like we saw what you call it. Finn played Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser's isn't a bad. He's still Mordekaiser would have been better than fucking Renekton. I don't know. Mm-hmm. That's just my opinion.
In this part of the game, EG are desperate. So right here, Jojo Pion, he gets picked off, and it's like, God damn, Jojo Pion is cracking under the pressure. Your rookie mid laner that you just brought in at 20 years old, cracking under the pressure. Okay, so right here, CoreJJ uses, I think that's the E. Yeah, he uses E, goes over the wall. He gets stunned up by Leona right here. They don't kill him off. They use the Veigar cage. Vulcan flashes over to get to him and uses the Zenith Blade to reach onto him, stun him. They commit so hard onto CoreJJ that they don't even kill him. And then the Leona dies. And then right here at this point, the game's just over. Right there, the advantage is too far into Team Liquid's favor. Yes, Impact did get 2 kills. No, sorry. Picking off their champions the way they did right there was something that they didn't really know how to play around the Veigar cage, and Nidalee just couldn't do anything. So they picked Nidalee, who, like, essentially EG were playing a 4v5 because Inspire just couldn't do anything. And he's also not been that good for Evil Geniuses either. Like, we're starting to kind of realize why Rogue were failing at certain moments when they had Inspired. Inspired is looking like a player that kind of just wants to be a carry jungler while not being able to sacrifice for the team. Then you also have Impact dying to Bwipo on the Renekton pick to a tank. I know Renekton's one of his best champions. I know. But these were not champions that they needed to play in this game 5. They should have went with more of something like what TL has, something that has scaling, something that can scale, tank. You also have a scaling mid laner with a really good bot lane. Their bot lane picks are fine. Aphelios and Leona are fine bot lane picks. The Ryze pick is fine. But the Veigar pick really putting a dent into EG's composition, because if you use the Veigar cage, Nidalee can't jump in. Renekton can't jump in with that cage. Most of what they can do is nullified by the Veigar cage. That one champion's one ability nullifies everything. So all Bjergsen has to do is just put up the cage and just let the Jinx that they got ahead early on do the thing that it needs to do. And Santorin also having a really insane series. Now, there was this part of the game where, EG, win a team fight because Team Liquid just overextend. It was right here, actually. And Impact ended up getting a triple kill because he uses dominance. He gets right there, I think he stuns 3 people, essentially. Yeah, he does really well in the team fight right here. Like, I could see why they picked Renekton if this was the reason you need, getting into the back line and just and basically annihilating 2 people. But the game was already so far wide blown open that this wasn't really going to do anything.
But MSK, okay, here's my thing about, I this is my problem with with pro scene and
yes,
there's champions that are good. I just realized Urgot is a good champion against that entire team. Urgot,
right? Yeah,
Urgot, Urgot can be tanky. He can side lane. He can shred tanks because of precision as well and what he builds. Again, the Renekton pick and his ult is really impactful, right? Because if you get the execute, you have a fear, and that fears everybody. I mean, honestly, EG overperformed because a lot of people already saw this as a 3-0, right? So I think if I'm going into the next weekend right now, I know we're looking ahead, I'm more afraid of EG than I'm afraid of Cloud9.
You should be. After this series, yeah, EG should be more favored in any series than Cloud9. And that's good. That means the LCS is a bit competitive. And then right here...
Well, maybe, and I've been watching Champions Queue because I know we didn't touch on this. I think Champions Queue has been working for them, honestly.
Oh, did you guys want to go over that Danny fucking doc that he put out about Champions Queue? Oh, we'll probably say that for next week because I gotta...
Oh, yeah, you want to talk about how who he got second All-Pro team?
Yikes.
Wow.
What the fuck?
That's just...
That is, what the fuck
Okay, yeah, okay. Give me a sec.
Paid somebody. What the fuck?
The Canadian Moose Rage is coming out of Sean right now.
So let's see. He got top 3 All-Pro team over Afromoo, over Winsome, over Bioprox.
Bro, Afromoo is stealing a paycheck just like
stop it. Get the fuck out of here.
Stop it. He's stealing a pay. Yo, what? Stop it. He's stealing a paycheck.
Afromoo played really well for the regular season.
Afromoo's just trying to make sure his mom doesn't go into a nursing home. That's all.
Oh my god. Warren hates...
He's been playing for 11 years. I think he has enough money by now.
Yeah.
Well,
he's better off than most black people.
Not if the colors keep asking him for loans. So.
Warren is literally going to hell. Warren's going to hell. Calling it right now, obviously. We'll see him there. LAC. Take this up. I don't know why they have that there. Okay. So we did EU. And we do LCS right here. Okay.
Did we do LPL?
LPL is gross. They have Wong Ding Dongs there. Okay, so the first best of 5 for this week is going to be Cloud9 versus Golden Guardians. Can Golden Guardians play spoiler against Cloud9? I want to say no, I hope they bounce back. I'm gonna go off pure hope that they bounce back.
Honestly, Golden Guardians from year to year to year is like becoming FlyQuest. Like they're slowly getting better and better.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why. And now that fans are back in the seats, like I mentioned before, because remember, Golden Guardians is a team that's owned by the Golden State Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna get money, bro. Eventually, at some point. So this can go 3-2, but I'm saying just off of on paper, I think Cloud9 should win 3-1.
I think this is the series that Cloud9 needs to bounce back and go like, okay, we can do this. If you don't win this, or if they don't win this, they're done. But this is the series they need. I think all teams eventually need that one game or that one BO3 or BO1 to just subtly bounce back. 100 Thieves had it. TL had it for a little bit there. I think Cloud9 win 3-1. I think Golden Guardians would get a game. Also, Cloud9 just went through going through fans for the first time in a while, and Golden Guardians has to now go through that. And Golden Guardians doesn't get another chance. If they lose this, they're done. You know, Ole and Licorice have been with fans, but Blaze Olive and what's his name? Oh my goodness, Golden Guardians jungler. Fucking hell, Whitestalk. Price-Talker's been around fans a long time ago. That was a long time ago, honestly.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. And I think, Sean, you could agree with me on this. I think this notion of old players needs to go away as long as the player themselves, the age doesn't define the player. It's the player that defines the age, right? And what I mean is like, look at who he's been in the league still playing. I mean, he shouldn't be all pro team. I'll agree with you there. But he's still performing at a high level. He even performed high at Worlds too, because they did beat EG. Like we got that's been long. For JJ, Bjergsen, Otawamne, who else? Yankos. Like these older players, Santorin. Like these older players are actually playing better, and I think maybe we need to stop this notion of like age is the end of like if a player is going down,
it all depends.
Right, go ahead, Sean. Sorry.
Well, no, I had nothing to say. I'm just saying it depends, and yeah, that's it. Continue.
Like, look at Otawamne has been on like he was pretty much in like a purgatory, I would say, because he went on Splice, and then he went on Schalke after, and ever since he's been on roll, he's been like an upward trajectory, right? He's not still good stats.
So just think about how old Team Liquid's team was.
Yeah,
like when they won in like 2019, like Impact was like fucking 27, X-Smithy was like 29.
Yeah,
Clemson was like 26, Doublelift was like 26, and Core JJ was like 25.
You know what's so funny? I would have rather have seen Impact Gangplank and Vladimir, but you want to know why? Because remember when they had the finals against TSM and they went to MSI and I cried? I know MSK must have had Vaseline and happy that day. Impact is a good GP player. Like he knows how to play Vladimir and GP. I'm still boggling my mind. Like, bro, put him on GP. Into tanks is a known thing. Like it's like, and also Kale into tanks is like Kale shreds tanks. Like I don't understand the logic of these like these people are challenger, right, or whatever rank, but they forget there's 100 and something champions, and you're telling me that Impact can't play Kale and he can't play GP? Like what? Like, he played GP all the time. Like, GP would have been great against that Scion pick. I don't know why they went with Renekton. Like, we literally see Impact, they reverse swept because Impact had, like, basically an Alfari performance with GP. So, I don't know if people are, like, sometimes you got to I sometimes have to put the blame on the coaching staff. Like, I don't know. I have to put some of the blame on Cold. No offense.
So, for me, I think Cloud9 wins 3-1 against Golden Guardians. EG versus FlyQuest. EG should definitely be beating FlyQuest. I think both these series will go 3-1. Cloud9 3-1 Golden Guardians. EG 3-1 FlyQuest. I think the FlyQuest series will be a bit more competitive. Because FlyQuest did look solid.
EG should beat Bulbasaur, so I don't really
care.
Oh
my lord. Okay. Sean, what do you think? What do you think's going on, Sean?
Let's see. I'll go. Yeah, C9 versus GG. I'll go. It's either 3-0 or 3-1 for C9. I'm gonna go. I think they could 3-0, but I'll just go one game for Golden Guardians, like some game where like fucking Blabber and shit like starts inting in the top lane again and gets Licorice ahead on like Nara or something, and then just owns them. So 3-1, and then the next series, I'll do EG 3-2.
Okay.
Actually,
So,
EG 3-1. I'll see.
So that's it. 3-1s across the board. Cloud9 and EG moving on, and then we got that's a spicy one, but that's for the next week actually. And I know people say, there was like I am Germ said, well, we have to go through best of fives that people don't care
cares about that faggot?
Yeah,
like,
who gives a fuck?
Whoa! Holy shit! Warren's gonna get us killed. Holy fuck! Holy god damn it! So here's what I would say to that. It's a lower bracket run, so that's the format. No one says they like it, but I mean it's better than what we used to have, honestly. Like TL and 100 Thieves get technically a week off, which is good because they kind of deserve it because they've been playing really well. That's something that sometimes you just need a break at least for a week. I'm not saying like don't scrim or don't play solo queue or champions queue. No, you still have to do that, but getting that little week off to kind of rest and prepare is a good thing. It's not a bad thing at all. So yeah, you got Cloud9 winning 3-1 and EG winning 3-1. But yeah, that essentially kind of wraps this up. But yeah, we'll just sit here and just talk and chill with you guys for a little bit longer. So what's been going on with you, Warren? You've been kind of dodging shows because you've been giving all the hot ladies.
No, I might be dodging shows, but I'm still contributing. I've donated.
Want to have hot sex?
No, no. I've just been busy with work. I might have to do like a boot camp soon for. I'm just trying to make more money, man. It's not cheap. Like in order to live comfortable in New York City, you need to be making six figures. Like that's just a fact. Even in Cali, you need to be making six figures if you really want to truly, unless you're like outside of the boondocks, right? No offense to anyone that is, but that's just how it is, and that's what I've been up to. But I've been watching. I think I've been watching mostly LEC, LPL, and then some LCS, the playoffs, because I wasn't really. I don't like the setup. I think personally, they need to change MSI because I just think it's
more teams would work out. Just
but
more teams make it better.
That's the problem because everybody agrees more teams, but then it's like, well, then why have them? Then you might as well call that Worlds Part 1.
Yeah, because
that's the problem.
My thing with MSI is I've always liked it. I have. I just would kind of prefer if more teams went because it would make it more competitive. Because one team overperforming or outperforming could give you a wrong indication about how strong the region is. Because, like, let's say if Rogue do perform very well at MSI and outperform, then everyone's going to go like, yeah, the LEC is like one of the best regions in the world. So it's like, no, that's not how that works. But if you had two teams that did similar things, that would be more of something that I could believe right there, actually,
Right, I agree with that statement.
So I just think they need more teams. I think you just need to add the teams that make the finals. I don't see why they can't put in more teams, but they said because they would have to run the venue longer, which costs them more money, but it's like it's Riot. Like, what? It's Riot. They're not scrounging for money because they have to run the
they make billions in skins. That's what they make most of their money off of is skins.
Yeah. And like that's the thing. So, what did you think about what we had a conversation last night with Fimilitis and Jaded, and we're talking about Moon Knight and shit.
I mean, I get where Fimilitis is coming from, but like, come on, bro. I'm not gonna compare. That movie. Like, remember Lighthouse? We saw the I'm not comparing no fucking Lighthouse to Peacemaker. That's retarded. I'm not doing that. That don't make any sense. Like, I can't. Like, no way. Not saying Film Louise is retarded, but I look at a film. I don't do the. I think MSK. I think Paul, Sean. I think a lot of people can vouch for me on this. I don't ever say one movie is better than another, but I do critique the movie for what it is. That's
Hmm.
why I will never. I don't want to compare Tom to Andrew or Keaton to Bale to Pattinson to Kilmer, because the directors had a different approach. They had a different way they wanted to do the movie. It was a different time period. You know, there's so many variables. Yes, you're gonna have your favorite, but it's like it's not like this is a head to head, right? Because like when a movie is made, it's made with the director has a particular creative direction they want to go with, right? So that's why I can't compare, but I get where he's coming from. But that's, I mean, I'm not going to go into like, say, I don't know, watching Miss Marvel and try to compare that to Finding Nemo. That's two different films. Like that doesn't.
Yeah, like this is what I said to them. Like you can compare story elements, characters, and all that stuff, but it's like you don't need to do that. It isn't you don't need to do that though. There's no reason to compare on those things. Like when I'm watching something, like when I'm watching LCS, I don't go like, damn, this is what the LCK is like. You know, like this little things like that. Like when I'm watching fucking Scream 5, I'm not going like, damn, this is so much fucking worse than fucking the Batman, you know? I'm focused on what that product is giving me, you know? Like the people that were like harshly rating Morbius because it wasn't anything like the MCU. Those people are stupid because Morbius is nothing like Morbius is from a different company. Obviously, it's Marvel, but it's still in a different company overall. I just judge things for what they are off what's given to me. Now, if you're asking me to do a ranking and to do a list, then sure, like that, if that's the nature of what we're doing, sure. But on average, most of the time, no. I'll just be like, okay, I'll just critique a product for what it gave me rather than comparing it to another product, because inherently people are biased to whatever they see first, and that's going to be the best of them anyway. You know, people are always much harsher on what comes after rather than what they saw before. You know, like you have those old heads who go, Batman '89 is like the best Batman movie, but it's really not, though. You know?
Yeah, like
but they saw it first.
Like I grew up watching Batman '89. I liked it for what, like the campiness and what they did, and but I'm not gonna be like, I'm not gonna compare Penguin in there to Penguin now, because like the Pattinson Penguin is different from the Tim Burton Penguin. Like I can't do that. Like they gave different takes on the Penguin character. Of course, DeVito had way more scenes and more major plot in Batman, you know, etc. So that's just my stance on the whole.
Yeah, with me, honestly, it's just something I stopped. Like I did do that kind of thing back in there. I'm like, well, when I watch a Marvel film, it's like, well, why isn't DC doing this? I had to come out of that and go like, okay, it's a completely different company about how they're wanting to show their audience their specific product. Because it's not fair to judge a product of what you previously have saw, because that's not fair to what you're looking at in that moment itself, you know? Because if you're always going to compare something, then you're never going to really honestly enjoy anything. Like, how do you enjoy something if you just constantly compare it to other things? You know? I just think that's very unfair. Like, when I stopped doing that a long time ago, I started to enjoy things more because I was enjoying something that I was watching. And then if it was bad or good, I would critique it based off what it's giving me, not based off what I've seen before or what another company did, you know? I can't do that shit, honestly. That's just not me.
I'm going to head out because I got to select day, boys, so...
Yeah, I'm actually going to the gym. I went to the gym yesterday. I'm actually going to go right after.
Bullshit.
What? I literally went to the gym, and I have this hot girl who's hitting on me right now, honestly.
Can you send me a picture of that aspect that you got? I want to confirm it.
All right. Did you do? Are we doing our LCS thing today, or is that?
Oh my god! Sorry, I forgot to tell you guys my LCS All Pro teams. All right,
we can do it next stream.
No, it's fine. Here's my LCS 2022.
Oh, I'm out.
All Pro team.
I didn't watch it either. So
later, Warren.
Take care, guys.
See you next week. Here is my LCS 2022 Spring Split All Pro teams. Well, you have the third team. Buipo, Jose Dioto, Fudge, Berserker, Afromu. Second team, Someday, Santorin, Bjergsen, FBI, Vulcan. First team, Summit, Closer, Takuli, Hansama, Core JJ. MIP, Jose Dioto, MVP, Summit. Remember, guys, this is all for the regular season. So those are my teams and stuff like that. No way was I putting Blabber over Closer. Are you high as fuck? I was not going to put Blabber over Closer. Blabber got outperformed by Jose Dioto to this split. Whether people want to agree with that is inconsequential, you know? It's a, hey, I don't live in a world where I look at a player by name value and automatically give them praise based off of that, you know? I look at things for what they were, and this is all just based in the regular season. So, and it always shows right now Blabber's not playing that well either. And I don't understand why Cloud9 keeps opting into keeping Blabber. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Like, he has high highs, but the low lows are really bad, and they need something of consistency in the jungle position, you know? Even Santorin outperformed Blabber most of the spring split and currently right now, you know? So that's just how I see things personally. But hey, man, T1 won their title. Now Faker has 10 domestic championships. That's fucking crazy. Faker has 10 domestic championships.
God, yeah, watching fucking Owner cry. Did you see that?
Yes. Owner got MVP, did he not, for the finals?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry guys, someone else started out with a loud fucking
he was like fucking crying before the series even started on camera because he was afraid of doing poorly. And then he was crying from winning MVP of the series.
Dude, yeah, now having T1 go to MSI, T1 are like just automatic favorites to win MSI. They dominated LCK 20-0. Holy shit. Like, that's fucking crazy.
Okay.
You know?
But anyway, again, I'm gonna do my LCK and LPL1 next stream, and I'll also show like basically the overall rankings of all players, but on that stream and on another tab that I'll share. But anyway, so for my LCS all pro thing, so okay, so for the third team, yeah, I just need to scroll up a bit. Okay, so the third team I have Whippo, Blabber, Power of Evil. Yes, I actually thought he fucking played better than the others you won't see on here, despite being on a last place team by far. Danny and Winsome, because I mean, while he's playing shitty in playoffs so far, I mean, he played excellent in the season. He was definitely top 3. He played a versatile champions. It's definitely better than guys like Afro Moon and Biofrost. I don't get what the voters are smoking. But anyway, second team would be Someday, Santorin, Ablaze Olive, Onsama, and Core JJ just because he didn't play enough games. And then first team would be Summit, Closer, Takuli, Berserker, and Vulcan. And yeah, so Fudge, Bjergsen, Abadage, Jojo Pion don't make the top 3. As they shouldn't with how they played.
Like, dude, the mid lane pool in the LCS was so weak. Yes, guys.
Like, it has a huge asterisk to us.
Yeah.
The mid lane part.
Like, it's one of those things where this split was really weak for like some roles. Like, especially like, no, it was pretty much mid and 80. Like, it was mostly just mid lane. Mid lane was the tough. This is probably the weakest mid lane pool that LCS has had ever since I started watching, actually. Ever since I started watching, this is the weakest it's been, honestly. I started watching this up back in like 2015. So, yeah, this is the weakest it's been.
Yeah, like, and then let's see. Sorry, I'm just going to finish. So, for most improved player, I have Someday. And then my runner-ups would be players like Biofrost, Lost, Licorice, and then literally the entire FlyQuest team. All besides Takuli, all 4 of them were literally in contention for most improved with how they were last year. And then MVP, of course, Summit, and then the runner-ups would be Someday, Closer, Takuli, Ablaze Olive, Santorin, and Whippo. So there we go. But anyway, continue with your mid lane pool. how
No,
it was so bad.
my mid lane pool is it's bad. You don't have Jizuke, you don't have Jensen. You know, Takuli, I think Takuli played really well. I think Fudge did enough to get him where he was. Like, at least during the regular split, he did play enough. So I'm like, okay, I could pick a Blaze Olive. Like, it was either between a Blaze Olive and Fudge, but I think Fudge had a bit more consistent points than a Blaze Olive did. So I was like,
I was gonna put Fudge in my third spot. It's just that Power of Evil has honestly, like, if you just watched him by himself in games and like lane and everything and stuff, like
Cloud9 needs PoE, man.
He played better than Fudge. He played better than Albadage. He played better than Bjergsen. So, you know, and I try to have at least one player in the top 3 all-pro team in any role in each region who didn't make the playoffs. So I'm like, okay, I'll give it to him.
So, as you guys know, the reason why I chose to have the Cloud9 podcast today was because I wanted to make sure I announced this to you guys. Anytime I have to go watch a movie on Thursday, because I like watching the movies opening Thursday night, because I don't know if I have time to get to them, because my movie theater has been very iffy on certain things with like their days being open. Now my movie theater is going to start being open on Tuesdays, so I can go and watch movies on Tuesdays and Thursdays if I so happen to choose so, you know. But if a movie is coming out opening Thursday night, that's a big blockbuster film that we're going to review on the channel, then depending on which time it is, I can have the show on Thursday or Wednesday. So the show is going to be either Wednesday or Thursday. It just depends. That's why on my schedule, you see it just like as a flex. It's either Wednesday or Thursday. Like I said before, it just depends, honestly, you know. But it's going to be easier because tomorrow I'm going to get off work, go see Sonic the Hedgehog 2, come home. Me, Sean, and Isaac should be reviewing it at the same time we reviewed Morbius. So, you know, you guys will have that review on the channel. But yeah, that's why I try to make these shows long and good, because I don't really give you
Sonic tomorrow, or
right after work.
Okay, well, I've seen the film on my Saudi Arabian bootleg, so I can review it.
But it's okay. It's okay. So
it wasn't worth seeing in theaters, I'll tell you that.
Oh Lord. So the thing here, guys, is I want to make sure I give you guys just, you know, the weekly show you guys get. When there's news, we'll drop the news. As I said before, Cloud9 podcast, and news, and then that's pretty much it, right? Whenever there's big enough news to talk about, right, or the player swaps and all that shit, you'll get those videos. But if not, you'll just be honestly getting this. I might do highlight reactions to the finals for the LEC. I'm not really too sure yet. I'm not sure yet. I'm pretty sure I'll do them for Fnatic versus G2. I might do a highlight reaction just for that, you know, but that's what I'll think about, honestly. But that's pretty much it. We had a great show today. I'll see you guys, you know, next week on Wednesday or Thursday. I'll map out it for my schedule and I'll see what day I can have the show on. So just want to let you guys know the show is going to be between Wednesday and Thursday. It just depends, honestly, you know. But yeah, Rogue is taking it home this week. Rogue are going to get their first title, and you guys know me. I love G2, but I think Rogue are just playing better right now as a whole. And
I'd be fine with any of the three, honestly. Like basically that entire top four. It's
fine, yeah.
The split in playoffs from Misfits to Rogue right now, I basically wanted before the split started, and I'd be happy if either one taking it. I do want to see like new orgs win it and new players, but I mean, at the same time, I also kind of want Fnatic to win. As partly a Fnatic fan, I don't really have a favorite team in the EU though, but if I did, I would just say Fnatic because I've watched them for years, since 2013. But then also I kind of want G2 to win because then my prediction would be right. So I don't know. It's either way though, I'm cool with it.
Dude, and that's the thing is, like, I want G2 to win, but they're not the better team right now, you know? Even Fnatic kind of has better things they can play, like better players they can play through.
As like Rogue, then they would be the best.
And I think it's going to pan out better for them next split, actually. So that's what I think. honestly, we had a great show today, guys. We're gonna let this last minute go through an even show in the even time. You guys know how I like my even times, but yeah, playoffs are concluding around the world. So we pretty much just once the LEC finishes, LCK and LEC are pretty much done. We just have to finish the LCS and the LPL. So this kind of frees me up a little bit more to look at the LPL right now and look towards their future matches. The LPL looks pretty competitive. Like teams that are like 10th place are taking out teams that are like in 6th place, and the LPL has been having to go to a remote online setup as well because the whole COVID thing surging again. So, that's pretty much it. You guys know, obviously, you're getting a Cloud9 podcast every week. We're pretty early into season 3 right now, which is good. We've accumulated about how many episodes? About like 40 something here, honestly. 40, yeah, 23 plus 23 is 46. So yeah, we're going to be at our 50th episode. Yeah, our 50th episode is essentially what? Next week, actually, right? That's our 50th episode. Well, let me see right now. Let me do some calculations right now. Or maybe this is our 50th episode. Maybe I'll celebrate next week. Maybe we'll celebrate next week when Rogue win. So 23 plus 23.
You mean when G2 wins?
And how many episodes do we have into this season? 7 with this one? Plus 7. So we are at 53 episodes. Okay, so right now we're at 53. So next week we'll be on 54. So next week we'll celebrate our 50th episode special, actually. I kind of forgot we had 50 episodes because like when I first started this series up again, I had one that lasted for 2 weeks. I had a lot of series. They just didn't pan out. But now this is the quality of the series that I'm comfortable with, that I really enjoy. And it perfectly works out just fine, And with that, that's it. See you guys later. Like, comment, and subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. I'm the Nightwing, and Way of Life Esports is signing out. Don't forget to like the show, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. All right, guys. See you next week. Peace.